Welcome to episode 5 of BroHawks, a sports podcast. Do I say sports podcast normally?
I don't know. I think so. I think you make a thing out of it, yeah.
Stay like that the whole show.
Okay.
Welcome to episode 5 of BroHawks, a sports podcast. I am your host, KCP, along with my good friend and co-host, T-Dubs.
T-Dubs?
D-Dubs.
I'm not going to say it like this the whole time.
Okay, you're a scumbag. The date is May 16th, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Look at that intro.
That was awful. It was the best one yet.
Thank you.
BroHawks.
So how are you, buddy? It's been a little bit. We're recording this
has
late, as you can tell by the date.
Yes. I'm good. Haven't been up to a whole lot still. Might be starting a new job soon, so that's nice.
Hey-o.
Been doing good. I think I've been updating the diet thing going every podcast so far. I'm 41 pounds down. Thank you. So that's going well. I'm going to ruin that tonight by eating pizza. I'm very excited. The dog situation is coming together. They're starting to like each other a little bit. Been playing a lot of video games, and that's about it.
Very nice.
So some updates, but nothing crazy.
I got you.
I have a smaller beard now. That's how long it's been, by the way. I said this before the podcast. We went to the draft, which we'll talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I had a last podcast I had a big beard. I shaved it to a mustache. And it's been so long that I now have another beard. That has all happened by the time we've recorded another podcast.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
It is nuts.
I just said that.
Yeah. So I'm glad to be back.
I'm glad you're back. I should give everybody a heads up. D-Dubs, he's been in a very sassy mood today. So
I've been in such a good mood.
If you see that coming through in the recording or listen to this, then I'm sorry.
If you see it coming through, you'll notice it's because Casey started it.
Because I started it. Welcome to the Toddler Cast. You're a funny guy. So, what sport should we start with today, buddy?
We should start with how you've been and what you've been up to.
Okay. It feels weird for me to do it because I do the current backlog, so I feel like I'm repeating stuff. I know you listened, so it feels weird to repeat it.
That's fine. I definitely may or may not have listened to the last one. So.
All right, fair enough. I'm just telling you why it feels weird to me.
Okay. But they haven't heard it, maybe.
But what have I been up to? I went to Myrtle Beach.
Yes, you did.
I
haven't heard about that.
No?
No.
It was a good time. I went with a couple of friends from work. Stayed down there for, I think, 4 days. But
sure.
But just did all the normal stuff. Went to the beach, the pool a couple times. All the attractions down there. There's a ton of tourist shit. Ate a ton of food. Had a pizza multiple times.
I was about to say, by food, do you mean pizza?
There was other food mixed
Chicken
in there.
tenders?
Some grilled cheese, some donuts.
I've thought about getting donuts today, but
the best donut place I've ever had is down there.
Yeah?
So, yeah, it's called a Donut Man.
A Donut Man?
The Donut Man.
The, okay.
Yeah. The Ohio Donut Man.
Gotcha.
Don't want to get sued. And then the pizza place called Doughboys. Some of the best pizza I've ever had.
Why have I heard of that?
I've talked about it before. I don't know.
Maybe that's why.
It's a New York style pizza, but it's probably only 2 places in New York that I've had that's better than Doughboys. And it's a random place in Myrtle Beach.
Maybe Portnoy did a Doughboys review. I've definitely heard of Doughboys.
Yeah, I don't think he would have went there. I'd be surprised.
Really?
But
He's been to also weird places.
There's also, I feel like that could be a generic name, like not a chain place, but somebody
that might
else has Doughboys. I told this on the other podcast, but I could tell you. So I'm sure you've heard about this gas shortage.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was one until I saw the memes.
I didn't either, and it didn't really affect us much here, but it definitely did on the East Coast where I was at.
Oh.
And I didn't know it was a thing until we were on our way back from Myrtle Beach, and our rental car has, well, my car has it, yours probably does too, the fancy thing where it doesn't just tell you how far you are out of gas, it tells you the miles until it runs out. And we were getting low, and I saw a gas station, and the line was out to the main street. And I was like, all right, should we go in here? And the people I was with, they're like, oh, dude, we are not waiting in that line. I was like, all right, well, we'll go to the next one. The next one has a massive line. I feel like we should jump in here because something seems odd. I joked about it being an apocalypse or 9/11, but I thought it was a joke, which is, I mean, it's not that bad, but you'll see what I'm getting at here in a second. And then, no, let's go one more. So we pull up to the third one, and there's a cop there, and he has the entire gas station roped off. So I'm like, oh, this looks like a fucking crime scene, so I'm out of here. I'm not going to.
Yeah,
that guy sticks around.
Got stabbed over gas.
Yeah. So we start looking for more gas. We're down to 20 miles till we're empty.
Okay.
And
which is probably actually like 12.
Yeah. And it went from looking like this really hick town to looking straight ghetto in about 5 seconds, with neither are preferable. And then we pull up to this next gas station finally with 16 miles left. And I'm like, thank God. And then it looks like something straight out of The Last of Us. I should have started with Myrtle Beach, or South Carolina in general, lifted their mask mandate. And
okay.
So there was still more people wearing them than I thought there would be, but definitely majority not wearing them, opposed to wearing them. But then when I pull up to this gas station, which is, this is in North Carolina, by the way, at this point for the gas, and I pull up, and everybody's wearing masks, and everybody has gloves on, and they're all kind of like wandering around. I'm like, what the this literally feels like the apocalypse now. I do Apple Pay, because it said it accepts it, and then it makes a noise like it does, and then it says it can't accept Apple Pay. I'm like, all right, that's odd. So then I swipe my card. It doesn't accept it. Try a couple more times. Doesn't accept it. I take my friend's card. Try it. Doesn't accept it. And then I go inside, and I'll skip past some of the unnecessary details that you can hear on the other podcasts. But so I go inside, and I go up to the guy. I'm like, hey, the pump's not taking my card. Can I get a 40 on pump 4, I think it was? And yeah, I got you. And then I go back out, and it's not letting me pump it. You take it off and just does a click and no gas comes out.
Yeah.
I'm looking around, see if somebody else having the same issue. I go up to this girl next to me. I'm like, am I doing something wrong? Is there like some kind of different thing in this state or something? And she's like, no, doing the same thing for me. I don't know what's going on. And I go back in, and I'm like, hey, I just bought 40 on pump 4 and not getting gas. And the guy's like, yeah? Yeah, can I get a refund then? I can't do that for you. I'm like, oh, I spent $40 on the gas though. Yeah, man, we're out of gas.
What?
What the fuck did you just charge me $40 for? And I was like, is that just like a thing around here? Because I had nothing. None of this news was coming to me. And he's like, it's a pipeline overseas, man. That's a big deal over there. Like, oh, so it's like the whole area around here? Yeah, I don't know if you'll be able to find gas, man. I was like, oh, okay. So
then why did you charge me $40?
Yeah, that was a whole ordeal. He was like, I was like, all right, can I get it refunded then? I can't do the refund. I just said that. I was like, okay, so can I get a receipt then? So I need something to prove if they charge my car later, be able to call them or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, just go back up and hang up the pump, and then you'll be refunded. And I was like, so you're saying it's like a pending charge?
Oh, like it'll give you back what you didn't use.
Yeah, which I thought that's what he's saying. So I clarified that. I was like, so you're saying like it's a pending charge, like it hasn't actually charged me until I pump, so if I hang it up, then it'll be refunded? Man, no, I'm just saying hang the pump up and you'll be refunded. Yeah, so you're saying it's like not, the charge hasn't gone through, it's pending, and if I hang it up, then I'm good, that is a refund? Man, what are you not understanding?
He doesn't know how the bank works.
And then we had a fucking peanut gallery behind me. Bro, what do you not understand? Just hang up the pump. I was like, okay, just give me the receipt. And I took the receipt and hung it up. I was like, what the fuck?
Did you get your money back?
Yep.
Yeah.
But I don't know why he couldn't comprehend.
He's too stupid. That's how gas stations work. You spend 40, you pump 36.50, get 3.50 back.
And then it was literally like the apocalypse. There was some guy in there before me. And oh shit, they're out of gas, bro! And he running out of the place, and he was like, it's fucking 9/11 all over again. And then he hopped in his car. They got gas down the street, and 3 cars started peeling off.
Oh my god!
I was like, what the fuck?
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I was worried about coming home to that and like not being able to get to work and everything, but it seems like most of the coasts were affected because probably the least supplies get.
I'm sure something will happen eventually, but so far it seems totally normal. Just a lot of funny pictures on the internet.
They said the pipeline's back up, so I don't think we'll have issues here. Maybe I'm surprised gas prices aren't higher. I wouldn't be surprised that happens, which will suck.
That's slowly climbing anyway. But real quick, if you hear a lot of sniffling, we both have allergies, and that's pretty much it.
Besides that, though, I just been working some, and then I did another Uber Eats the other night.
Nice. So you've done it twice?
Yeah. I plan to do it more. It's just been so much going on.
Yeah.
There was a story with Uber Eats. I can't remember now.
You already have a story and you've done it twice?
It wasn't anything crazy. Just sometimes I'm going to talk about. I talked about on current backlogs. I'm totally blanking because it wasn't anything that insane. But that's it for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now we can get to the news if you want. I wanted to hear about your day or your week. Your weeks.
Yeah. I appreciate that. And going forward, I'll try and fill you in like I would on current backlogs. It just feels weird to do it.
Yeah. It's not a one-man show. It's two-man.
I love you. Spoilers. So what sport should we start with first? What would you like to go with?
I feel like I'm also going to be rubbing my nose a lot. It's because I feel like I'm dripping even though I'm not. This is kind of like your forte.
Okay.
I got the football stuff. I feel like we're going to talk a lot about football. So maybe not there.
Yeah, not probably majority.
So whatever you want to start with, I have news for only hockey. So, and it's moderate news.
We can start with hockey.
Sure.
You want to go?
Sure. So Seattle Kraken, the best team in the NHL, probably just because of how it works, right? Based on what you've told me.
They'll definitely be competitive, which sucks. Or should be at least.
Yeah. Well, I've never. This guy has. So they signed their first guy.
Okay.
Doesn't mean anything to me. Doesn't know. I don't know who he is. Don't know where he's from. I should have looked all that stuff up. But his name's Luke Henman.
Yeah, I've never heard of him.
His favorite dine-out order is for sushi. It's salmon nigiri, avocado on a New York roll. His 3 artist-only playlist is Brett Young, newer Justin Bieber, not older, and Luke Combs. I love Luke Combs. I like I like the Biebs too. I'm a believer.
It almost sounded like you said you like nudes.
I'll take them. Favorite NHL players are fellow Nova Scotia natives Sidney Crosby, Nathan McKinnon. Don't know who Nathan is. He has 2 sisters, 1 brother, and they're all hockey players. So that's a little bit about Luke Henman, the first Seattle Kraken player.
Ooh.
You gonna boo me every time we talk about Seattle Kraken?
That's the idea. I was like, let's
make
make this a bit. I don't like it. You don't like that?
I don't boo any of your teams.
Well, you don't hate most of my teams, though.
I don't like the Reds.
You used to. I used to be your team.
It was my dad's team.
Yeah, so
and I liked him for him and Ken Griffey.
Yeah, just same as your other teams. So it did used to be.
But I don't boo. Why do you? I don't understand why you would hate Seattle Kraken. They're not even a thing yet. Just because they're going to be good for one season.
Not because they're going to be good. Not just because they'll be good for one.
You
season.
hate the NHL and how their format is. Why would that be taken out on Kraken?
The same reason it's taken out on Las Vegas, even though you're not allowed to call them Las Vegas, you have to call them Vegas for some stupid ass reason. Even though they play in Las Vegas, not Vegas, which is already annoying.
If you're gonna do it to me, I'm gonna boo all your teams.
And I can tell you why, because not just that one season, and they're gonna continually be good, and they're set up that way, which is bullshit.
Then you hate the NHL and the way it's formatted.
But I can get to why I would hate them too, because then you have everybody likes that they're good, so then become fans of them. I'm not saying you, but there's going to be so many fans, just like there is for Las Vegas, and they get
Seattle's a pretty big sports town, and they have
Las Vegas definitely wasn't.
Okay, I see the Vegas hate for sure, but Seattle's a big sports town, and they've wanted a hockey team for a long time.
Yeah, so
of course they're going to have a lot of fans.
Yeah, there, but not out in Ohio. There's not going to be naturally many Seattle fans.
Yeah,
but you're going to see a good amount of it.
You think?
Yep.
I'm interested to see if that comes true.
If it's anything like Las Vegas, you'll see a good amount.
I feel like Vegas is more popular than Seattle.
But that's the reason Las Vegas is so popular, because they're so successful, and that's what's so annoying. People are like,
yeah, I get that.
Yeah, people are like, look how good they were. It's their first year.
But they could be bad, too. Like, they could be.
Oh yeah.
So would
that's
you
why I
not
said
would
it's
you not hate them if they were bad?
It would be easier because then I think there wouldn't be bandwagon fans behind it.
Okay.
I think so that'd be easier.
Okay, I'm just trying to gauge you. I'm definitely gonna have a sweater, a Kraken sweater.
We can go Blue Jays game. You can
Boo!
You can try and do that, but the cannon will outpower you every time they score on
Yeah,
your
but I
ass.
can do it here and it'll be fine. Nothing's gonna outpower me here.
You seeing me?
I am. That's why I said what I said.
Power voice.
So that's all the Kraken news.
Boo.
Don't do it every time. I hate it. I don't like it at all.
I just gotta give it a little crack, you know?
Ah,
You like that?
I did.
You see what I did there?
That was another one.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Yeah, nice.
Thank you.
Sorry for the snivel. We can talk other things now. Other hockey news. I'm sure you have.
Yeah, I was trying to make it as awkward as possible right there.
Didn't you? I was trying to make it not awkward, so we were trying to go against each other. Didn't CBJ fire their boy, their coach?
They did. That's the main thing I was going to get to. Well, they didn't fire and they parted ways with him.
So they fired him. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that
I parted ways with my last company. Actually, I quit, so I guess that is different.
Yeah, I think that's what they set it up as, that potentially he walked away, but I think he knew that he's going to get fired, so.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Which most Blue Jay fans are fucking thrilled, and I don't understand it. Because whenever a coach gets fired, I don't know why people are excited unless they know that somebody better, and I have yet to hear a better candidate.
Yeah.
I think it's really hard to find a better candidate than the winningest coach in U.S. history and the 11th winningest coach in NHL history, no matter where you're from, and then the winningest coach in Blue Jackets history by far. And he missed the playoffs 2 times in his 6 years here. And one of them, that was the first year he's hired, and he got hired not mid-season but during season, and they were 0-7. And then he took the team to 34-33, so he finished over 500 after starting 0-7. So that was one of the years he missed the playoffs. And then 4 straight years of the playoffs. And then this year missing it in a year that everybody knows is fucked up and nothing's straight and injuries are at an extreme high and there's no consistency. And you see teams are successful right now that have never been successful, and that's the reason because everything's so backwards that I think it's so reactionary and so silly, especially when I have yet to hear a better candidate, and like I said, I don't know how you really find a better candidate than that. And
he's probably gonna go somewhere and win a Stanley Cup or something.
I wouldn't be surprised. The only thing, no, fuck off. They probably have a coach already.
Definitely, I don't know who it is.
That would be some bullshit.
Then I could see the hate. Then I could see it. I could see the booze.
Boo. But I can't take you serious.
Why? Is it the hair?
That's it.
Is it the smile?
Yeah, it's just the looks.
I thought I'm
No, just there you go. That's better.
How is that better?
I said it's better. Roll with it. So, just be normal.
Oh, okay.
So, I never understand that in general when people want to fire a coach unless they have a better candidate, but especially with somebody that's been as successful as him. And I told you before they fired him that I didn't want them to, but I had a feeling they might. And I thought it'd be more silly if they didn't fire Brad Shaw, which is the special teams coach, which handles.
Is that 2 names? Brad Shaw.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm just making sure.
No, I got you. Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah, a lot of Bradshaws came to mind. Well, one.
But I told you it'd make no sense if they fired John Tortorella and kept him, because even though they've been successful for a majority of his career at the Blue Jackets, Brad Shaw has been there since John Tortorella's gotten there, and even the 4 years they made the playoffs, the special teams was terrible. But somehow they fired John Tortorella and kept Brad Shaw, I said Brad Shaw this whole time, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Brad Larson. They have 2 Brad Shaws.
Oh, okay.
And they fired Brad Shaw, actually. So they did fire Brad Shaw, but I've been talking about Brad Larson.
Oh, okay. I got confused for a second.
No,
you want them to fire Brad Larson.
Yeah.
Keep Brad Shaw.
Yeah.
And Tortellini.
Yeah, I've been okay. Bradshaw
Tortellini.
I didn't care as much. I just don't really understand how you fire John Tortorella, and especially how you fire another coach before you fire the obvious weakness in the team,
Okay.
even when they're successful.
And they kept the weakness.
Yep.
So he's going to become the head coach.
That's a rumor of potential head coach.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
And as much as I would hate it, I think all the people that were just wanting him gone and saying how it can't get any worse, that's kind of what those people deserve. And then those are kind of people, they're Blue Jackets are fucking stupid. How could they fire the best coach in team history?
Oh, yeah.
Even
He'll
though
come back for sure.
So I think it's going to go one of two ways. I really hope they don't hire Brad Larson, but whoever they have, I think the Blue Jackets will either not be good next season, and then people will see that John Tortorella is helping, or I think they had the potential to still be really good because I think that they had a solid roster this year. It's just everything's so backwards that somebody's going to come in and do good, which I think John Tortorella would have next year or this coming season.
Yeah.
And then that person going to get all the credit, even though
Sure.
it could have been John Tortorella, but you have to have a consistent, normal team around you to be able to do that. So it's fucking crazy to me, especially you've been here your whole life. You know what the Blue Jackets were before he got here.
Oh, yeah.
They've been here for 20 years and made it the playoffs 6 times, and he was 4 of them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they've not been good.
no, it is it's fucking nuts.
It's
And
the world we live in. Results based now.
yeah, I think that's my least favorite thing about sports. Everything's so reactionary, and then even worse, the people that are reactionary ones are the ones that jump right off it. They're not like, oh yeah, that was a bad move. They just jump on to the next thing.
Yep. Grass is always greener, Casey.
That's right.
Every year, Pete Carroll and Russ Wilson need to go. John Schneider. Grass is always greener.
So we'll see what happens with the head coaching. Hopefully not Brad Larson. I don't really know who I hope for because I said I don't know.
Brie Larson, maybe?
That'll at least be more appealing. And she might be a better special teams coach at least.
I didn't even know there was a special teams on hockey.
Yep, for the power play and the penalty kill.
Oh, so those are different people?
No, he controls both of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a special teams for both of those.
I know nothing about hockey. Okay.
So we'll see what happens with the coaching search. It extra sucks because John Tortorella, I think, is a fucking hilarious guy, and I think he's really genuine, which is rare in sports, especially if you're that big.
Yeah.
A lot of people hate him because they say he's really brash and he's really mean, which I think gets confused for intensity because he's from Boston, I think, so he has that thing to him.
That Boston thing.
Yeah, and
it's probably the Shaq Capit.
Luckily, he doesn't have a terrible accent anymore. But he definitely has that aggressiveness to him. And you can hear some crazy rants or cuss filled with him. They're very entertaining. But I think people confuse that with, like you said, intensity and commitment because people say how he's so hard on the players and nobody wants to play for him. But if you listen to almost any player that plays for him, they say how it's hard to play for him, but they made him a better player. And if you actually get to know him, that he'll treat you with more respect than anybody. And he's the most loyal guy. And the only times he actually gets mad is if players aren't putting in effort. And even if they fail when they're doing it, that's okay as long as they're putting in effort. And you can see that when players give up. And that's what a lot of people are mad at the Blue Jackets. There's so many plays where players just clearly gave up. And I think that's completely reasonable time to act that way.
Yeah, your job is to not give up. So
yeah. And the times you see him get the craziest and the most intense, it's to defend the players. Like one of the times he ran out on the ice, which you don't see coaches do. And it was because they got a crazy cheap shot on one of the players. And everybody talked about how he's a madman and he's cared about himself. But he got suspended from that, and that was clearly the reason because he was standing up for his players. So all these people just think he's like so wild and crazy. But if you really pay attention when he's acting like that, it's always to back his players up, which people say is a main criticism, that he doesn't care about his players. And like I said, aside from that, he's just super fucking entertaining in his press conferences and seems like a really nice, normal guy. I could show you some funny videos. And then
be excited to see him in Seattle.
fuck off. Aside from that, the Blue Jackets aren't part of it, sadly, but the NHL playoffs are starting.
I saw.
Should we list every team? That seems like a bit much.
Isn't it like 12 teams?
It's more than that.
16?
Yeah.
Sure.
We should?
Okay.
So you got the Avalanche versus the Blues. You got
Go Blues.
Go Avalanche.
Oh, you like Avalanche.
Yeah.
But does Oshie still play for the Blues? Does he even still play?
I think he does play for them still.
Go Blues.
Fuck off. You got the Golden Knights versus the Wild. The Maple Leafs versus the Canadiens. And the Maple Leafs have Nick Foligno, former Blue Jackets captain. The Oilers versus the Jets.
That's football.
You already did the logos. Don't you remember this?
No.
I think we had the same talk.
Did we? Winnipeg.
Yep. The Penguins versus the Islanders. Capitals versus... Really?
No, I just wanted to say go Pitt. Are the Flyers in here at all?
They are not, actually, which is surprising.
I would root for them. Go ahead.
The Capitals versus the Bruins. Fuck that entire series. The Hurricanes versus the Predators. Go Hurricanes. The Panthers versus the Lightning. The only two teams I care about are the Avalanche. Have always been my secondary team, so definitely them. And then the Hurricanes have been one of the teams I kind of root for, which is harder now because since they realigned everything, they're technically a Blue Jackets rival. But I just don't really think of them like that because that's not their like long-standing history with the rivalry.
I have quite literally zero stake in these, except for Oshie, and that's because of a World Cup.
One I care most about.
Not World Cup. Olympics.
Yeah.
World Cup is soccer.
Yeah, those are the only two teams I really would root for is the Avalanche and the Hurricanes. And I guess the Maple Leafs because Nick Foligno. It'd just be, even though I want him to succeed, it'd be weird seeing him succeed and not be on the Blue Jackets. I like him, and he's like the most down-to-earth athlete I've ever seen, so I'm not going to root against him. It'd just be weird to see that. But aside from that, it's mostly rooting against teams. Like, I don't want the Bruins to do good. I don't want the Penguins to do good.
Probably won't. I'll probably watch the Stanley Cup.
Yeah?
I do like watching that.
So you're going to watch the Avalanche versus the Hurricane?
I doubt that'll be it, but sure. I don't know anything about it, but that doesn't sound like it'd be a good matchup.
Some of the games actually have already started, but I think the Hurricanes are a lower seed. The Avalanche are actually number 1 seed. So, no, the Hurricanes are too.
Oh.
Look at that. So we'll see what happens. It's still a long shot, no matter what, with that many teams. So
go hockey.
Let's do that hockey. We could talk about baseball next if you'd like.
Sure. I know a lot about it.
You said you wanted to follow up with your teams, right?
I mean, my team. I don't know a lot about it at all, so I have to look it up.
Okay.
I know the Mariners have been doing okay. Mm-hmm. I saw the Indians started doing pretty well. They were at one point in 4th, I saw.
I'm not sure. Try and pay as low attention.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I understand. I saw that in a tweet. That's about the extent that I follow baseball and hockey, for that matter. Is I'll see a tweet and I'm like, I need to remember the Indians are playing the Mariners.
No, look at that.
And the Mariners are winning. So suck my ass, Indians. Seattle's 20-20, so they're literally doing exactly okay. My wife texted me that I made it to the podcast because I walked here. Yep. Sorry, I forgot to text. LOL. I have to actually LOL. So Seattle's literally doing okay, the most okay you could do. Cleveland is 21-16, which is good for second in their division. Central, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know anything else. They're just they're second in Central. I don't know what else I'm even looking at. So, they're doing good.
Okay.
The Reds have gone to 18-19, huh?
Yeah.
So they're also doing okay.
Yeah. Was there anything else you want to say?
Seattle's in 3rd, and they're kind of not very close to 2nd. So that was fun. That was a fun little thing they had going on. I know the baseball season's long, but
oh yeah,
it was a fun ride. That feels like that ride might be exactly over. Indians, though, that's something for my wife's family to be excited about.
Let's hope not.
And Browns fans to root for when the Browns start sucking.
I started taking some bets on the Browns already.
Did you? I got a bet
Yeah.
going right now that they're going to make it to the divisional. Not me, not making this bet. Someone told me they're going to make it to the divisional round. I said, okay, booked. Noted.
Yeah, I should be getting the odds here because I know this isn't a good bet. You're probably going to think I'm crazy.
Definitely. Because they're definitely making the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to. And my bet is that I think the Broncos will have a better record than them.
Whoa.
And, I haven't been confident on the Broncos lately, so that's not like because I'm a Broncos fan.
If they get Aaron Rodgers, I would probably take your bet.
I think Aaron Rodgers make it a more sure bet, but I'm confident either way. Because I think it's not because I think the Broncos are going to be the best thing in the world, but I think the Browns are not going to be nearly as good as people think. And then I think the Broncos underperformed, and they were the most, with the 49ers, the most injured team last year, and had top 2 players out.
Yeah.
And they did good, I think really good in free agency and decent in the draft, so feeling good about it.
He also thinks that they're going to do better in Seattle.
Yeah, this is why I started taking bets. A couple of reasons. Even if I lose, I've only taken one bet so far. I try to get more, but Browns fans won't do it even though they say it's a sure bet, which is odd because that's free money. But I've only taken one bet so far, or they've only taken one of my bets. And the reason I'm doing it is because I could probably lose 6 of them, and I'd still be in the positive as far as my Browns bets for my life.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, I feel pretty good about this.
Yeah.
And then also the first person I bet with, I was like, you know what? I just decided today that I need to ride this momentum of Browns fans thinking they're the shit for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Why they think that?
Super Bowl and stuff.
Yeah, there's a matter of time till they don't think that, and they just fucking backfire and they won't make any bets and they'll be back to the same old Browns.
Yeah. I'm afraid the NFL wants them to be the next big thing, though.
That I hope not.
Because I definitely think there's some inner workings in the NFL, and I feel like they want the Browns to be the thing.
So, you think like they give?
I don't know what I think. Some things are weird. That's all. I don't think there's anything. I'm not a big conspiracy guy. I think games are played out how games are played out, but I think certain things are pushed, narratives, and I think I've certainly heard a lot more about the Browns. That's for sure. I just think the NFL wants the Browns to be a thing.
I hear you.
So I think narratives are pushed, and that's about the extent that I think the NFL pushes things.
No, I hear you. I'm not a conspiracy theory guy, but going back to the NHL for a second, the Blue Jackets, I don't know if I told you this. They've obviously majority of their history finished near the top of the draft, as in like getting the highest pick. And do you know they've never, not only have they not moved up a spot because they do a lottery with the top like 8 picks or whatever, they've only not moved up a spot, but they've never stayed in their position. They moved back every single pick in their entire history. I just don't even see how that is mathematically possible. Yeah.
That is odd.
And if you look, the teams that keep winning it are like the same 5 high market teams, or the teams that are down and out, and the NHL's like Pittsburgh can't suck anymore, and then they got 3.
Yeah. Columbus isn't a very exciting city.
Yeah, it's some bullshit.
Yeah.
And I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. Just like I said, mathematically, that doesn't check out. The odds of it are.
Money talks a lot louder. They're gonna push. I don't know. They're gonna push a lot of different things. So I hear you. I hear what you're saying. There's some interesting things there.
Yeah, we'll see if it changes this year because again, we're in a lottery position. So
I think there's a reason a lot of weird things happen. It's like San Francisco keeps getting talked about when they've had made the playoffs once since like 2012 or something. It's because it's in California. They're a fucking huge place.
Yeah.
They went to the Super Bowl once recently. Pittsburgh always gets talked about. I don't know. It's odd.
That it is. To go to MLB though, the Reds, like you said, are right around 500. For me, I'm still
500 bros.
I was gonna say obviously I would prefer to be better, but they were expected to be a bottom feeder this year, and sticking around 500, which only puts them a few games out of the playoffs, and they've obviously showed stretches of being able to potentially stick with any team.
Mm-hmm.
So unless they fall in like a long drought, I think they have a chance up to the end. Which
cool. That's all you want, right?
Yeah, exactly. And they're playing the Rockies right now, and they just tied it. I literally just got a notification they tied it in the 9th inning, so they were about to lose and tied it up. I also got to see the Reds throw a no-hitter against the Indians.
I saw that. Well, I didn't see it, but I saw it on Twitter.
Thankfully, I did, because I won't lie, I wasn't watching the whole game. Oh, there we go.
So Mariners have played the Indians 4 times? 5 times? 4. They've won 2, and they're about to win 3. Sorry.
I know, you're good.
No hitter.
Yeah, I wasn't watching the game either, I won't lie, but then I got a notification that it was in the 7th inning, so I was like, oh, shit, I got to watch this.
There have been so many no-hitters. Or perfect games or whatever.
So there's been a couple, there's been a lot of close calls, is probably why you've seen that.
I thought I saw there was like already 10 or something.
Oh, if there is, I didn't know there's that many.
Yeah, like which is more than ever at this point or something.
I talked about this on
my God.
our other podcast, and I said that I thought the Indians were the first team to ever have 2 no-hitters in the same season, but I was like, I'm not confident in that, so I'm not going to say that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I didn't stick to it because they were the 15th team that had it done. It was the first time the Indians had it done, but we do have some potential here because no team has ever had it happen 3 times in the same season, and we're 40 games into a 162-game season. So I'm really hoping some third team can come in there and give the Indians a new record, you know?
Sure.
They're, let's see. No hurt. Oh, yeah. So that also tied him for the 4th most no-hitters thrown against him in the Major League history.
Okay.
So another not good record, but another funny one for me.
Yeah.
It was cool seeing a no-hitter. I've only, in my lifetime, the Reds have thrown 3, and I've seen them all, not like from front to back, but I was able to watch them all at some point. So that was really cool to see, and I watched it on vacation, so that's how you know how much it meant. We were all having fun, but I was like, I can't miss this. And you're really going to go watch baseball? I'm not going to fucking miss this. The only other thing I have to talk about is another Red suspension. I don't know if you heard about this one. Ooh.
Believe it or not, I have not.
The Reds just took the lead on a wild pitch.
Ooh.
Sounds like the Rockies are blowing it. So this one happened probably a week ago. It was Amir Garrett, their pitcher. He's been struggling a lot, I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
And then he's the kind of guy that likes to yell stuff, and he talks a lot. So he threw a strikeout. The guy walked back to the dugout, and then he faces him and starts screaming at him. And
the pitcher?
Yeah, the pitcher does. Okay. And again, I try and judge these things fairly. I think he was definitely talking trash. Reds fans said that he was just pumped up and was just yelling stuff. He wasn't yelling at the player, but I think he was probably talking trash.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
But then where I think it becomes unfair is he does that, and the dude jumps over the railing and starts charging at him to fight him.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody actually throws punches, but like the whole pile together.
Yeah.
And then he gets Amir Garrett gets suspended 5 games, and nobody else gets anything.
The instigator, right? Usually gets it. Yeah,
but I feel like the instigator usually gets it, but other people usually get it for contributing to it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I can admit that I think he was the one that started it and yelling, but somebody jumping over a railing to charge at you, I feel like that's...
Aren't you allowed to charge the mound? Isn't that a thing?
No, you're not allowed to, and even then it usually happens while you're batting, in a heated moment, but even then you're not supposed to. It's kind of just like something that happens sometimes.
But it's not not usually punished, right, to charge the mound?
Not usually, but definitely from the dugout, you're not even allowed to leave the dugout.
Yeah. I'm just making sure I got all the information.
So... I don't know. It just seems. I was talking to somebody at my work that's a Braves fan. He don't like the Reds, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't think I've heard of another suspension this year, and you guys have already had 2, so I don't know what the league's doing." And he's like, "Both of them I think are pretty unfair too." And I was like, "Okay, I'm glad," because most people I hear are Reds fans that everything is amazing and nothing's wrong, but I feel like there's something in between here.
Neither seems unfair. It seems unfair that other people maybe not have gotten punished. But both suspensions have seemed warranted.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's why I mean the ruling in it, like the overall ruling.
Yeah.
Is why I think it's a little odd.
That one's not that crazy to me. Especially maybe they have audio of what he said. Maybe he just was way out of line. But I don't know. Those things always. Maybe the guy should have gotten suspended for charging. That would I guess would make sense too. Maybe not for all 5 games. Maybe give him a couple or something.
Yeah.
I could see that. Sure. Yeah.
I think that's all I had with baseball. Besides, the Clippers just started our minor league baseball team.
Ooh, I might go to a couple of those.
I was gonna say, yeah,
I
they're.
like Clippers games.
Oh, you know I'm down for that, and they're as cheap as you can get.
Oh yeah.
And
I love Clippers games. I just love going to baseball games.
they're already allowing 40% capacity, but starting June 2nd, they're going to be full capacity. Same with the Reds, and
Yep.
so
Sure, that'll go great.
I mean,
Might as well take it all in when we can.
I don't think it's going to go back.
I bet
And-
masks will. I bet lower capacity will.
I don't think so. I
It's
think
already happening in other parts of the country, parts of the world.
we'll see. I don't think so. I think all these companies and these sports teams that advertise that they care, kind of talked about with the NFL.
Oh yeah, they don't give a shit. They want the money.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
think as soon as the
They
Reds
can line
already
their pockets
announced
for a little bit.
the Reds announced June 2nd, like the day after the mask mandate announcement. They announced that they'd be at full capacity starting June 2nd, which is literally the first day they can do
Yeah.
it. And we're like, well, we want to wait it out, or they're just
No.
like, let's go for it.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't see it lasting. It'll last for a little while, but I'm sure at least masks will come back.
We'll see. I don't think so. Well, we'll
I
come
think
back to
you'll be
it.
shocked.
I would
Literally, other parts of the world are locking down again.
I would be shocked.
I would too. I wouldn't be. Literally
see.
locking down. Parts of Canada literally can't leave your house again. A mask I could see coming back pretty soon. If those numbers spike, Daddy DeWine's been pretty quick to slam the hammer. But we'll see. It is all about money. It has nothing to do with people's health. So it's all about money.
Yeah, we'll see. I feel like I kind of wish we were doing this podcast and got your perspective, because I feel like every person I talked to with every league that was going to start up told me it wouldn't happen, and once it did, how the season wouldn't finish, and just kept
I
telling
thought
me that.
everything would start up.
Yeah, so I feel like I don't want to be a know-it-all, but that's why I wish I had podcasts for when it was happening, because everybody that I talked to was disagreeing with me, and every season started and finished. So,
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you on that.
yeah.
I don't think full capacity, no masks is going to last very long. But we'll see. We have it on video.
It'd be interesting to come back to.
And I'm not just saying just here, by the way. Like maybe it doesn't in certain parts it continues. But I'm saying in places it'll start to shut down.
I think
So I'm not saying like totally all of it gets shut down. Like I think people will start to do the increase, see it's a bad idea, and places will start to do it. Not everywhere will. But places will start to be like, maybe full capacity is not the right idea. Or maybe masks are a good idea.
Yeah, we were talking about Ohio. That's why I said I don't think they will. I think maybe some places will, like California or places that.
Yeah. I think how it could. I'd be interested to see what happens. Especially with how weird DeWine's been. So
We'll see. We'll bet a pizza on it.
I don't want to bet anything on it. I have like a budget now, so it's not that I'm not confident, as I literally don't have the extra money to do that with. So
The only other thing I think I had talked about besides the NFL was the Crew. I'm sure you heard about this.
yeah,
The
rebrand.
yeah.
I like it.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't know what the big deal is.
Oh my God.
I saw one picture and it was sweet. Let me look at it
I
again.
don't know if you're trolling me or not.
Yeah, let me look at it. Let me make sure this is the picture I saw. It was cool. Oh, and what's changing? They added SC, the Columbus, and it's still called the Crew. What's such a big deal about that?
We'll let you look up the logo and then we'll talk.
How is that a big deal? If they change it from the Crew, I could see that being a big deal. Like changing it to Columbus SC would be an issue.
That's what they're doing.
Okay, but they're still calling it the Crew.
That's the nickname, but
Yeah. It's not that crazy.
so you wouldn't think that was odd if Seattle's like, we're a Seattle football team. You can still call us the Seahawks, but our branding is the football team
I mean, there
or
has to be
FT.
that would be weird because it doesn't sound cool either. But a lot of places are the New York. Or I guess that's a bad example because they're the New York Red Bulls. But aren't a lot of places the city football team?
They're becoming that, which is part of the issue. They're trying to make it more European to.
Yeah, that's what the Chelsea FC and
Yeah.
yeah.
Which,
That doesn't seem that weird to me because it's what's happening in soccer. It'd be weird if a random football team just decided to do it because it's not the normal thing.
well, that's what always happened overseas, but that wasn't what happened in MLS. And if you want to be your own brand, that's what they started out as. And
This
yeah,
that is cool.
I don't like that either. Which I should have. Do you remember talking to the
That's
other?
not that bad either. On a
I
pennant,
don't-
that's sweet.
I don't think it's bad on a pennant or as like a secondary logo, but for that to be your new logo, I think that's terrible.
What's their current logo? That's cool as shit. Crew 96? That's kind of bland. It looks like every other Cincinnati, Cleveland fucking bullshit.
Another C. And then that fucking little block they put in, or whatever the hell that is.
Yeah, that is a little weird. But I like the Ohio thing. I like this.
Oh,
I think I like this more than that.
you're the first person I've heard to say that.
And I love this. The Crew is cool. Columbus Soccer Club sounds kind of gay, I'm going to be honest with you.
That's their team name now.
Which gay isn't meant to be a fucking slight on gays. It's just, I fucking shouldn't have said it. I get it. Don't fucking cancel me. I understand it was wrong. I like this. I like that. I don't like that. I don't like that.
I really don't like the one on the left that you're pointing at, the state.
I don't get what it is, though, either.
That should have been my first worry. Do you remember when we talked about the stadium? I was like, I don't like these seats. I feel like they're trying to do like some design.
Is this the design?
I feel like that's what they're going for. That looks just like it. I feel like that's supposed to be throughout the stadium.
I love that. If
So-
that's like a secondary logo. This is a sweet pennant and would look cool on a sleeve.
Perfect. That's what I'm saying. So a secondary logo.
Sure. And then this would
Yeah.
also be good on a logo, on a jersey.
Because most people just think the whole thing's atrocious. I can be fair. I don't think the logo's that bad.
That's bad. Whatever that is bad.
I think it's perfectly good for a secondary logo.
Is this the
And-
primary? Or this is primary,
Yep.
and this is secondary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. The C is weird.
Yeah, I hate it. I'd be
Columbus
cool.
Soccer Club is also not awesome.
No, that's my least favorite part. That
And
They're
the
called-
rebrand is happening. Like
Yeah,
it's in
official.
motion. Okay.
Yeah, they put out a whole statement and everything. It's the Columbus Soccer Club that they'll still be known as a Crew, but they're the Columbus Soccer Club. So if you're known as a Crew, you think you'd want the Crew in your logo.
It is weird. It's not that crazy to me. If the rest of if MLS is doing that, it's not that crazy. If they were just randomly doing it, it'd be weird.
I think that's the worst part. That's just going to become so bland. Just every team's going to be a SC or FC.
Yeah.
And they rebranded from the Crew to the Crew SC, and I was already like, that's seems kind of unnecessary, but at least you stuck to the Crew and you did SC, not FC, when you're literally in a league called Major League Soccer. FC sounds like the dumbest shit ever.
Yeah.
You're not in football, you're in soccer, you're saying that yourselves. But yeah, people will absolutely hate the logo, which,
Yeah, I've heard
If
nothing
you-
good about it.
yeah, if you remember me talking with the seats, I talked about Crew fans will just do nothing but suck their dicks.
But
so
even
I'm
those
kind
I kind of liked, right?
yeah, you did.
So maybe maybe I'm so far away from the Crew that I'm just like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I have no blood ties to it.
And I think that's the biggest issue. They're literally the first team in Major League Soccer history, and they're just removing the
I
name.
see that issue.
And
Yeah.
you want to hear their reasoning?
Is it not because the MLS is moving to soccer club and we're doing it too?
No, that's not it. And I think my worry and why I don't want to criticize too much is because I'm thinking maybe the MLS is pushing it and
That's
they don't
what,
really have
that's what it
control.
seems like, right?
That's what it seems like, but the Crew's making it seem like it's their own decision. So
Oh, they probably have to, yeah.
um,
It doesn't seem like who was so excited about save the Crew. It doesn't seem like they'd be like, well, fuck, now we saved it, we got to switch it. It feels like it's coming top down.
that's what makes no sense about it, that the Crew's name became even more well-known and probably more well-known than ever because of that.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to think it sounds like an exaggeration, but worldwide, because soccer is so international.
No, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm
that-
sure that
Or national.
it's whatever. Yeah.
But the people became so recognizable with that, and any person I've worked with that's foreign or anybody that's immigrant here that I've talked to about sports, they most time don't even know who Ohio State is, which how crazy that seems, but that's because that just does not translate over.
They're trying to make football.
Yeah.
But soccer's,
Yeah,
and the
so
Crew
many
are
people-
good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're the first team in MLS, which I've heard multiple people tell me that. Obviously, I know that, but they're excited about that because they know that, and history matters so much overseas with soccer that, I think it's usually a rebrand the point of it is to revitalize something or get more attention to it when you're struggling a little bit. And
Is it?
Yeah, that's usually when they do it. Like
Okay.
the last time the Crew did, when they went with the new logo last time, the Crew SC, it was because they started struggling with attendance. And
I didn't even know they were called the Crew SC.
yeah. And they're going to be more opposite right now. They're coming off a championship. They have all momentum from Save the
Yeah.
Crew. They have a new stadium.
That's why it feels top down. It doesn't feel like it's coming in from their internal.
I hope
no
not,
way.
especially because everything that the new ownership has done since they've been here has been so obviously catered to fans and like going out of the way to not be like MLS and to show that they're just kind of the fans are running it, even though it's obviously millionaires running it. That it seems so backwards. And I guess they had the Nordeck, which is like the supporters section at the Crew games. They had a meeting with them and they showed them the new logo before everybody else, and they said that the supporter section teared into them and said that if they did it, that it would fall apart.
Because their bloodline is so ingrained in the Crew, the logo. Of course they're going to rip it apart. Anything new, they're going to rip apart.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it weird, though, is that they actually took the feedback to care about what they said and then just seemed like they completely ignored it and abandoned it.
That points even more to it's not their decision.
Yeah, I hope not.
There's no way.
I don't know. It's so crazy, man. The timing of it makes no sense. They were already gonna July 3rd play in the new stadium, which seems kind of weird because
Getting such a weird noise in my left headphone. This is the whole time it's been happening.
They're gonna switch to a new stadium midway through the season, and I've never seen a rebrand mid-season, and that's what they're doing. It's like official now. That's their new logo. But the weird part is they haven't put it on a jersey or anything, so they're rocking it.
Yeah.
But they're selling merchandise, but they're not wearing it. And they're going to transition to a new stadium that's called Crew Stadium, and the old stadium's historic Crew Stadium is what they're calling it now. But they're the Columbus Soccer Club, and they're not the Crew, even though you can call them that.
They're officially nicknamed the Crew, though, right? So you can call it Crew Stadium.
Yeah, but it just seems fucking weird. And eventually, after so much time, if it really sticks around this long, people aren't going to know it as a Crew because everything's going to be advertised as Soccer Club and SC. That people aren't going to know what the Crew is.
Unless they brand it as such. They have the Crew logo. They just have to put it on shit. That's all they got to do. They could make it right. Hey, we're going to rebrand. We're called the Columbus Soccer Club. But for the love of God, it's the Crew Stadium. We're going to have the word the Crew on our shit. We're going to sell shirts that say the Crew, but it'll say Columbus SC. They can make it right.
See, I've seen that argument, but if that's the argument, then
why
put
change
Crew,
it?
Yeah, put Crew in your logo if Crew's that essential to you.
Then it has to be from top down. Or it wouldn't, you know what I mean? They probably have to rebrand.
So, the GM said the reason. I thought this was a parody thing, but this is real. So they switched from the Crew, and he just says a Crew, but they are the Crew SC already, to Columbus SC because they want to be recognized worldwide, which was already my argument. I think it is more than any sports team in Ohio.
Sure.
And his argument was that if people hear Columbus SC, they'll know that it's Columbus's one soccer club. But if they hear Columbus Crew, that implies there's crews around and not just one, and you won't know where it is. I was like, that makes no fucking sense. There's only one Crew I know of in all of sports. There's a minimum of 14 Columbuses in the country.
Yeah.
There's Columbia, South Carolina, which I know isn't Columbus, but that's very Columbia SC. And I think that would be 10 times more confusing overseas. And then what makes it more silly is they're trying to get a USL team here, which is essentially the minor league team for Major League Soccer, to play at the old Crew Stadium. And I feel like that would have been prime time to have that logo be their team and call it the soccer club if you want. And I was hoping that's what it was, that people were misguided about where this was heading. But that's not the case.
Give it fucking 2 years. They'll be back to, we're the vintage, the Crew jerseys, and they'll just fucking go back to the Crew.
I hope so, but at the same time, I'm not the Browns and Bengals for that. That I'd be happy to have it back, but it's annoying that you do that and then act like it's a big deal. Come back, no, just fucking stick with it. If you're
Well, they're gonna get so much horrible feedback for so long that I feel like they'll have to.
The good news potentially is that hopefully it's already happening. The Nordic put out a big statement today that said the ownership has reached out to the Nordic and wants to have a meeting with them about the rebranding.
Okay, so give it maybe 2 months.
Let's hope. I
like the logo. That's crazy. I get why you don't want to change the logo of the other one. Wasn't it at one point it was people like
that's what it originally was, and I like that, but I get the first rebrand. People hated on it at the time, but I understood that because it was cool. But I think it was a time and place kind of thing. It was evolving and it was getting outdated real fast. But I think the one they had before, the current one or the new one, I guess now, I think is still very modern. Looks more sleek than majority of logos.
I don't know. I like it. I think it looks pretty modern. Looks sweet. Looks it looks cool. I like it.
And I feel like there's nothing about that logo that tells you where it is or what that means.
No, it looks like every other Ohio team now. The C, or the one place with the T and the C. In baseball.
So I think it's all fucking backwards. I think this meeting.
Baseball.
Yeah, I think this meeting hopefully is what you're saying, that it's a matter of time until they change it. I'm worried that they're meeting with them and be like, guys, this is what it is.
I don't think it's gonna change. Yeah, I think they might bring back like a throwback version. I think it'll be these plus that one.
Yes, yeah, I don't think that's enough. I feel like crew has to be.
Yeah, I agree.
Part of your
sounds like it's
identity.
Not gonna happen, though.
And like I said, I don't even hate the logo as much as other people do. I think it's perfectly fine for a secondary, but for that to be what's front and center, I think is not good at all. Like I think it would look really cool on his shoulder, or
I
like
think it would look sweet on a shoulder.
Right,
it would look cool on a shirt.
I've seen some merchandise that don't look that good to me, and the hats look awful. You're using that the yellow logo on the. It just looks like on the other one. Yeah, it looks like
that makes sense. That would be the hat, just like every other fucking C team in Ohio.
It looks like the Indians logo mixed with the Pirates, which sounds fucking terrible, and also looks like an actual baseball hat, not a soccer hat.
I don't hate that at all. I think both are fine, but I could totally see these coexisting. You know what I mean? Like this is on your front. That's what you're saying. Like this is what you wear, and then like fucking on your sleeve is that thing. Those could totally coexist.
And since they haven't actually started wearing it, like they started selling merchandise, but the team is still wearing the current logo.
That has to be like a printing thing. Like they make a certain amount of jerseys or something, and they just haven't. Like they haven't run out of that inventory.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. I know I'm in the minority there. I know I am. But I also don't. My blood doesn't bleed black and gold. So.
You almost said gray there.
I did. I did.
Well, I think that's all I had on that. I could go on tangent.
It's interesting. I want to see how it turns out. But
yeah, well,
I don't hate it. I could see. But again, knowing how passionate crew fans are, I could see why there's a huge uproar. Because those are some of the most. Those are like the Browns fans of fucking. They're just so cutthroat and so heartfelt. They've gone through good and bad. I get it. I just don't have those ties, so I think it looks cool, and I get it.
Yeah, I'm just surprised because I talked last week, whenever that was, about the seats, and I told you I was in minority because crew fans, they're passionate, but they usually are just so supportive. They don't want to say anything bad about them because they love them.
Yeah.
But I was like, these seats don't look good.
Maybe they've had enough.
Yeah.
Just to get to a tipping point. And they tipped it with changing the name, which I guess makes sense. They've always been the crew.
Yeah, that was another thing I think the GM, everything they've done, like I said, has been like catered to fans and just fed into it, and which I think is what the team needs right now. But he said that you might lose fans doing this, but losing 8,000 fans to gain 14,000 fans is always a positive. And I was like,
if it works that way, yeah. I mean, I guess.
I mean, business-wise, obviously more is better, but 14,000 fans that maybe can generally care about it and aren't gonna be your diehard fans,
I feel like
opposed to 8,000 that are there no matter what.
Yeah.
Then
I don't think they see that way, business standpoint, which is sad, but it's the true.
I feel like a business should think that, not even just like care about your fans. I'm saying those are people that are gonna spend the most money and be there. So even if it is less, that's like a more sure thing that you're gonna have money coming in no matter what. Opposed to 14,000, they're kind of like, oh yeah, I'll go to a game sometimes. How many of those fans are gonna be diehard? Maybe like half at most. Probably not, but I'm saying.
Yeah. I don't know. I like more numbers is always gonna be better. So, at least for the meantime.
Yeah, for the meantime, but how long, In 2 years, then
you could gain a shitload. I mean, you could gain a shitload of loyal fans from all over the place.
Yeah, I guess that's also going with that narrative. I don't think that changing to Columbus SC gets more fans. I'm saying that's what he said. But I don't think
if that's the case, I could see it happening. But it's good to branch out. You don't just need the dog pound. Cleveland needs other fans.
Oh no, it is. I think that's one negative Crew fans have is that they say they're
what are they called?
The Nordeck.
That's what they call themselves?
Yeah.
God, it needs to be cooler.
No, it's the North End.
No, I know why it is. It just needs to be cooler.
I like it.
It's lame.
It's
dog pound's lame, but it's kind of cool.
It'd be lame if it was like if they just came up with it, but I think it's cool since it's like
yeah, it's fine. It's been there forever.
Yeah.
I think the Seahawks called the Hawks Nest. It's kind of cool, but kind of lame. But I guess what else can you do?
Yeah. I guess the only thing we had to talk about is football, eh?
Yeah. Draft.
That's right.
We were there.
Yeah.
For the second day.
Yeah, rounds 2 and 3.
Yep.
You want to talk about it? I talked about it on the other podcast.
Did you?
I can talk about more. I'm just saying. Give you some time to talk.
It was an experience, for sure. I think I'm just learning more about myself that I don't love big crowds. It was fun. Like, it was cool. We got to go to like this little rink-a-dink restaurant and get $7,000 for like a sandwich, and we got to see. I got to actually see a Seahawks pick, which I thought they would trade out. You got to see Broncos picks. We all got to see a pick, at least one. Albeit from very far away, but we got to see the picks in person. That's where my good points ended. I didn't love it. There was a shitload of people, which I knew there would be, but I didn't get to do any of the things I wanted to do there, and that's the thing that really made me sad. I literally went there. It was also fucking freezing. I went there with the hopes of doing the dash, 40-yard dash, the field goal kicks, the Hail Marys, look at all the trophies, and I don't know, buy some cool Seahawks shit. And I bought a fucking Cleveland draft football and a pair of socks. Oh, and a hat that I didn't even like. And I didn't get to do any of the things. So that's a mixture of it was us doing bad timing. We said we'd do it later. We didn't know they closed earlier than the draft ended. So it was cold. Seahawks only picked once. The view sucked, except for your view. You got into an incredible view, and they just would not let us in. That pissed me off more.
Oh no, I was bummed for you guys. Damn it.
So like my fun level. So we got there. I was like, yes, we're gonna do all these things. Oh, you can't do any of those things. That sucks. Oh, Seahawks have one pick. I knew that, but I thought they would trade out of it, so they got a pick. So I was like, oh, okay. You have to wait 67 hours to see anything else. It's freezing. Casey gets in. We don't. So it was my last draft, for sure. I don't think I'll ever go to another one.
No?
No.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't. I had. Yeah, I would never go to another one. It wasn't even close to the threshold of wanting to go to another one. So.
Yeah, I couldn't feel more opposite. That sucks.
It would have to be like in my backyard.
Not in Seattle?
No.
Really?
Because I'd want to see Seattle instead. I wouldn't want to go to the draft. I feel like I've now seen all the drafts. Because the setup's going to be pretty similar. It's going to be probably the same things to do. Probably won't get to do them then either.
Maybe I'll have actual real merchandise at the next one.
Yeah, that merch sucked ass.
Yeah,
I really thought. Nothing was branded. 2021 in fucking Cleveland.
Me too.
All the merch was terrible. The only thing I found was a fucking football. That was $40, which is cheaper than the $150 ones they were charging for. That said NFL Draft Cleveland. So I bought it. The experience of seeing a NFL draft pick who I think will make the team and do really well live in person is cool. But that is a just that much out of the whole thing of the experience. So, yeah, it was my last draft. I'm glad I went once. I won't do it again.
I hear you.
But we got to do it. So that's that.
Yeah.
Got to do it with friends. It was cool.
We got some pizza.
Got some pizza. Oh, I almost forgot. Did you tell the story already?
Yeah, I feel like I didn't. Like you said, other people might be listening, and I don't know if I told it completely.
Oh my god,
so go for
dude! Oh, you're gonna have to help me.
Okay.
So maybe probably the best part of the whole draft was going to this pretty below average pizza place. It was drunk as shit pizza. Like, this pizza's for people that get fucking hammered and eat pizza at 3 a.m.
Did Cody tell you how mad he was that you had this observation of that pizza place?
What?
Yeah, he loves it.
Oh, why is he mad at me for that?
Well, not genuinely mad, but like...
It's drunk pizza. That's what it is. It's greasy as shit, always ready at 3 a.m. pizza. That's what it is. It's not a fucking sit down, nice restaurant pizza place. You know what I mean?
It was so nice that multiple people fell asleep there.
That's what
was.
The pizza was fine. Like, it was fine pizza. Oh man, I can't wait for the cinnamon sticks. And I ate like 3 pieces of it. Like, it was good. It was good for what it was. Cheap as shit, drunk pizza. It's just like Mikey's late night, but it's actually good.
Okay.
In comparison. But Mikey's is always around is for people that are fucking hammered. They put pieces of American cheese in between. Like, it's not a fucking nice pizza place. It's just not. But the pizza's fine. The experience was incredible. So we go there, we eat some pizza. We see one guy asleep. And he's asleep for a long time. The entirety of our time there, actually. But he gets kicked out eventually, right? He gets woken up, gets kicked out. Another guy comes in the same spot and falls asleep. Different fucking dude.
Maybe that's why I only noticed one guy, because it
was the exact same spot.
I thought you guys were saying there's like 2 sleeping there at the same time.
And before we finish this whole story, we weren't there that long.
No, probably like an hour.
Maybe an hour. Probably an hour. I'll get to the really good part. You got cinnamon sticks, so the pizza was good. I keep shitting on the pizza, right? The pizza was good. It was just, again, so you pick it up and it's literally dripping with grease. I'm fine with that. It's just it's not like classic or like some of these fucking really nice. You know what I mean? Like, they're not really nice, but like, this is high quality pizza. This is clearly low quality, just drunk pizza. The cinnamon sticks, however, were so bad. They tasted like there was salt on them, right? What were we saying?
You said salt.
They were breadsticks that they fucked up. And we're like, oh, shit. These are supposed to be cinnamon sticks. And so they just put a little bit of cinnamon on them and gave you a lot of cream. Icing. Icing was good. The cinnamon sticks were actually pretty good when you put icing on them. But if you just licked it, a little ASMR, it tasted like fucking you're licking salt. Just straight salt. And it was terrible. The cinnamon sticks by themselves were awful. In the cream makes everything good. Icing.
Cream makes everything good.
Pop. So that's and we kind of went on for that for a long time, right? With the salt, and it was kind of crazy. I think we were also slap happy. It was very late. Like, even recounting the story now, it's like not very funny. But that's just the kind of place this was. Some guy came up to me and argued the Browns are better than the Seahawks, and I had to shut that down. More importantly, that Russell Wilson isn't good, so that guy was stupid. 2 guys fell asleep, and they just kind of let them sleep. Cinnamon sticks tasted like breadsticks. They fucked up. The pizza was fine. Now, the creme of the crop of this place. Again, an hour. We experienced all this already. Talking about Russell Wilson, Seahawks, Browns. 2 guys falling asleep. Cinnamon sticks that were totally breadsticks. I ate 3 pieces of pizza in this time. our buddy, my buddy, your new acquaintance, Justin, went to take a piss. And he saw a guy who turned to the video, podcast listeners. Like that on the toilet, right? And so he came back. He's like, "Oh shit, someone's on the toilet. They're pooping."
Oh shit, I get it.
Pop. And then he goes back a little while later, and he's still there in that same position. So he's like, "Oh shit." And he goes to the guy that works there. Like, "Hey, there's someone on your toilet, passed out." And we started making jokes. This guy's fucking dead. Bless you. This guy's fucking dead. For sure.
Yeah, I think I was the person who made that joke. Not taking pride in that. I was like,
yeah.
Oh, damn.
And we made the joke that he's fucking dead. And the dude comes out, "Hey, is this somebody's boy? He's leaking blood." What the fuck? And then we actually thought he was dead.
Yeah, that's when I was like, oh shit, my joke sucks now.
Yeah, it was a fucking real life death joke. But he wasn't dead. He came stumbling out of the bathroom, falling on himself. Got kicked out. He got beat up by a bunch of people or something, and I guess put in the bathroom. I don't know how he got there. The story didn't line up. I wanted to ask him questions, but it seemed like a bad idea.
Yeah.
But he walked out and turned the way that we had to go, and he just started walking normally also. And he just went on his merry way. We don't know what happened to him. I think he
probably didn't last much longer.
That's
sadly.
my thought. Is something bad happened to him, or he was really fucked up, which I'm assuming is the case anyway. But no, we thought we definitely saw a dead guy. Well, at least Justin saw a dead guy, and we experienced and moderately joked about a death.
Yeah.
But that happened in like an hour, and then we had to drive home and just wonder about that guy. It was awesome. That part was incredible. I was laughing like the whole time, and then it got like really serious. And then he came out, and like, everything was kind of funny again. It was such a crazy. I like the pizza more thinking back about it now.
Maybe we should go there and try and recapture that moment.
We definitely won't recapture it, but I would try the pizza again. Because, again, it was good late-night pizza. It was perfect late-night pizza, actually. It's not pizza you get at 4 o'clock on a Sunday. It's pizza, you're like, ah, fuck. It's like Happy's. Like, oh, this pizza kind of sucks, but it's also kind of really good because it's 3 in the morning.
Happy's is always good if you get mac and cheese pizza.
So, that's the draft story. Is the draft kind of sucked, whatever. The pizza was awesome.
The draft story is Guy's Pizza.
Guy's Pizza, that's what it's called. Yeah. I didn't remember what it was called. That's how unmemorable it was.
Speaking of which, Guy's Pizza, you know what I'm saying?
What?
They'll get it later. So, should we talk about the draft itself then?
Yes, I'm down for that.
The festivities,
not just
the picks.
I don't want to say I'll never go to a draft again. I was being pretty harsh. I might do it again. But there would have to be like a guarantee as soon as we get there, we're getting in line for the things. Because that part did. I think that really shot me down pretty far. So, yeah, we can actually talk about the draft.
Okay.
Seahawks one was short, but they did a lot in the undrafted process.
Okay, you want to cover that first?
Well, that's what I'm asking. You had more draft picks. I don't know how you're undrafted, if you're even going to go into the undrafted people.
I'm not, just because I'm not going to lie, I didn't know much about him. Normally I do, like in other past seasons.
Yeah.
But this year I didn't know much about him, so I'm not going to act like I did. Not saying you're acting like that.
No, I definitely had to look some of them up for sure. Okay. There's only a couple I'm really excited about that I actually knew about before. So, and I won't go into all of them because I let my phone die while I was in the middle of doing my prep, and I forgot to finish after it died. So there's one guy left off who's a Renton, Washington native who's on the team that I'm excited about.
Could be a next Philip Lindsay.
He won't make the team.
Oh.
He might, but so if you're not going to go into undrafted, I have 13 guys.
Okay.
Plus the 3 drafters, so I have 16.
Okay.
So I feel like I should go last.
Oh boy. All right. So
I don't have to if you don't want me to.
I don't really care. So I'll start overall. I think.
Which draft grade? Draft grade.
I would say B+. B minus.
Okay, it's not bad.
Yeah, I think some of the picks are really good. I think not taking a quarterback like everybody made fun of him for was the right call. I told you that was my biggest worry, that they would take a quarterback.
Yeah.
Even thinking Justin Fields is amazing, how cool it would be to have Ohio State quarterback, I still didn't want it to happen.
Yeah, he's a prospect guy.
Yeah.
A project guy.
And behind one of the worst offensive lines in the league. And we see how that's going. Somebody with a little bit of experience. So giving somebody with less experience sounds like a terrible idea.
He would be doomed to fail.
Uh-huh.
I don't think Chicago's going to be much better for him.
Yeah, but they do have the quarterback wizard, Matt Nagy.
They also have the best right tackle who switched to guard ever, Jermaine Ifedi from Seattle.
There you go.
So
that was my biggest thing, is that the thing they didn't do was the thing I was most excited about.
Yeah.
And I think their biggest need, going into what I just talked about quarterback, was offensive line. But like I said, I think it's the hardest thing to get in the draft. So they didn't do much to improve that, but I also can't really criticize them. I like him a little bit because I think they should have done more in free agency before they got to the draft. But yeah. But you can only judge a draft off what the draft is. Yeah. So their first pick, they took Patrick Surtain, the cornerback out of Alabama. I hate Alabama, but I think he's not a lock, but close thing you can get to a lock as it gets as a cornerback, and he's a little taller than the cornerbacks they picked up in free agency, which was one of the knocks I had against it. Not that short cornerbacks can't do anything, but when that's all you have, I don't know how you're going to defend like a top tier tall receiver.
I have an interesting theory about that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You want to get into it?
Sure.
Okay.
I think the NFL is switching to fast, smaller guys. Like the stereotypical corner and receiver used to be Julio, Sherman. You know what I mean? Those are two guys, obviously, both tall, over 6 foot, long arms, big body. DK's big. There's a lot of big guys, right? But who's always talked about now? Tyreek. Who's the Rams guy? Cole Beasley, not on the Rams, obviously, but he's always talked about. Edelman was always talked about. Who's the Cooper Kupp is the Rams guy. Yeah. Lockett's small. People like these shifty small guys, and I think they're getting really hard to cover on the outsides because usually those were always slot dudes. And now they're lining them up on the outside. And these fast-breaking routes, these tall receivers are really good at defending, but they're not very good at, you know what I mean, shimmying. So I think the NFL is moving toward these smaller, quick, fast fucking... What's that fucking word I'm looking for?
Agile?
Yeah, sure. Guys who aren't as lanky. Because that was a lot of the draft, was smaller guys. So, I don't know. It seems like the projection the NFL is going is quick, motion receivers in the – it's like college. Literally turning into college. Motion guys, small, speedy guys, get the ball in their hands in 2 yards, they go off for 40. Tall-ass dudes aren't going to be able to keep up with that. So that's my theory.
I hope you're right. I think my only worry is if you have no tall cornerbacks, the first time that they have somebody that's not that kind of player and they have some 6'3",
some
6'4".
DK Metcalf, some Julio Jones.
Yeah, you're just even if you. I know short isn't the only thing that matters. It matters your fucking vertical everything.
Vertical arm length.
So even if you're short, you can make up for it. But I don't think that's always the case. So
yeah, I agree.
Oops.
I think the DKs and the Julios are becoming less and less.
Yeah. So I think that's probably a good thing because they have kind of both that now. And a lot of people criticize them in general for taking so much defensive back, or so much in the defensive backfield. But I think it's a good call. Like I told you when they made those free agent signings, most of them are for short term, and some of them are getting older, so they're kind of weird signings. So I think it makes a lot of sense to
go young.
Younger players come in, and if those players do really good, re-sign them or work from there. But Vic Fangio, that's the main thing. He knows his defense, so hopefully your theory's right because that's something that they haven't struggled with really.
Yeah. If there's one thing I would trust Denver on, it's secondary.
Yeah.
And Von Miller.
Yeah. So their next pick in the second round was Javonte Williams, the running back from North Carolina. I won't lie, I didn't know much about this guy before they drafted him, but other people freaked out, and I watched his highlights, and they were pretty crazy. We've seen that a lot, and it doesn't always translate to the NFL, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
And I think you could have still kept Philip Lindsay and used this pick with something else, but
Sure.
it is what it is. And then they took a cut off here, Quinn Miners, right?
The dude who I wanted. Yeah.
I like cut off there, but the offensive guard from Wisconsin. And I was gonna say,
Freak.
yeah, I've watched some of those videos since he got drafted.
He's
a little uncomfortable,
crazy. Yeah. I wanted him bad. We got another freak of nature though, so I'm good.
Yeah. So that's the one offensive lineman they took in general.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
They got good value too, I think. He was projected to go a little earlier.
And then he was a third-round pick, if I didn't say that. Their next third-round pick was Ohio State player Baron Browning, linebacker. I think it's about where he should have gone, and he's an Ohio State player, so it's cool for me. But I think this is probably where he should have gone, but I think he has upside to prove to be a lot higher than that. So Ohio State is inconsistent, but when he is on, it was hard to stop him in general. So we'll see how that pick turns out. And they obviously need a linebacker at some point because Von Miller's not going to stay there forever.
Yeah.
And who better to sit behind you if he's not playing than Von Miller? So
correct.
And playing Bradley Chubb's not going to hurt either. And then they didn't have a fourth-round pick. Well, they made trades, so went to the fifth round. Took Caden Stearns, and he's a safety from Texas. And then immediately after in the fifth round, took Jamar Johnson, another safety from Indiana.
So you have some safety concerns?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then sixth-round pick, they took Seth Williams, wide receiver from Auburn. Again, not going to lie, I didn't know his name, but watching his highlights, giving the sixth-round pick seemed like a crazy value, whether that, again, translates to the NFL.
There's so much value this draft.
Yeah. And then they finished the rest of the draft with all defense in the seventh round, 3 picks. It was Kerry Vincent from LSU, and then Jonathan Cooper from Ohio State, and Marquise Spencer, a defensive end from Mississippi State. I don't know about the other 2 dudes. Do you know about the guy from LSU?
No,
Okay.
not really. I know he was on the championship team.
Oh, okay.
So I think if you're picking anything from that team, you're going to get at any point in time in the draft, you're getting some sort of value. That team was fucking stupid.
Okay.
So I don't know much about them though. I think all the big names from that team are now gone to the NFL. So
I thought Jonathan Cooper, I'm sure his value wasn't higher. I just, from watching him at Ohio State, I thought he'd be like a 5th round pick. He was probably, if they got him in the 7th round, he was probably value lower. But watching him, I would have thought he would go a couple rounds higher. And I can't remember the last time or if ever I've seen the Broncos take 2 Ohio State players. So just personally, it was kind of cool to see.
yeah.
And being there for that was even cooler. And having it in Ohio, as much as I hated Cleveland,
Yeah.
it was cool being there for that.
Yeah.
So I said there's things I would change, and probably should have the draft board in front of me. I know as this happened, there's stuff I wanted happening that they missed on. But
Yeah.
But overall, I think a B minus, I would say.
Okay. That's nice. My turn.
Go for it.
I think Seattle did well. I think we had 3 needs:
Okay.
O-line, receiver, and corner. And we literally took a lineman, a receiver, and a corner. Just not in that order.
Uh-huh.
So I think that's the thing that people had problems with.
Yeah.
But I'm a big guy of just take the number off, like where they got drafted. Be like, hey, you guys need a lineman, a corner, and receiver. They drafted each one. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It shouldn't necessarily matter. I guess value and all that shit's whatever.
Yeah.
So with the first pick, we didn't pick until. Let me get my notes out. Oh my god, I didn't put it down. Pick the 3rd round. 2nd round? 2nd round. And we took a receiver. A 5'10" receiver. And I'm fine with this. I think this is a great pick. He was Mel Kiper, I think, best receiver available at the time. So, like, value-wise, he was there. You know what I mean? I wanted Terrace Marshall from LSU because I like him. But we got this guy who I didn't know anything about. I'm going to be honest with you. But he runs a 4.4 40. He is small, but he's 185 pounds. So the dude is, like, kind of built. But what we need in Seattle's offense is we needed a quick tight end that gets yards after catch. We went and we got Gerald Everett. Perfect. And we got the Rams passing coordinator or whatever for offensive coordinator. So that's already a perfect fit. We have DK Metcalf, the big burner. We have Tyler Lockett, literally the perfect receiver for Russell Wilson. So we need a third guy on those little dump-offs, those drags, because Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf are going to run these routes all day. We need someone down here that we never had. Now we have Everett, and we have Eskridge. And this motherfucker is get him the ball, and he's going for 20. I can't wait. I can't wait to watch him. Awesome pick. I loved it. I have like a lot of stats on these guys. Is that an issue?
No, I'm looking at my phone just trying to look stuff up for the Broncos while I'm looking at it, so no, go for it.
Also, I just realized those were the stats for Trey Brown. He is 5'9".
So even shorter.
Even shorter. He was loved at the Senior Bowl, I think. He's 5'9", 190 pounds, so he's even fucking heavier. Round 2, pick 56. He was. I meant to put all this shit in. I don't know why I didn't. As a true freshman in 2017, he only played in 12 games. 121 yards, 7 average, 1 touchdown, 6 carries, 60 yards. So he had carries. And that was his sophomore year, or freshman year, true freshman. He started all 12 contests in 2017 with 30 receptions, 500. And he was on. What team was he on? Oh, Western fucking Michigan. So, like, whatever. 30 receptions, 500 yards, 16.9 average. 4 carries for 13 yards, so he's not much for a carrier, I guess. 7 of 11 in 2018 for 776 yards, 20-yard average. He started at receiver and corner in 2019. He wanted to play corner just to be more competitive. He got injured. He broke his collarbone. He then returned to a receiver full-time in 2020, garnering first-team All-MAC honors on offense as a kick returner. This is where I think he's a special teams badass as a gunner and a kick returner. He led the FBS with 213 all-purpose yards per fucking game. Ranked 4th with 130 receiving yards per game. And he went to the Senior Bowl and fucking banged it out. So this dude, I'm excited about. And I think he's the perfect fit for this system, this new Waldron offense we're going to run. And I put in here why the NFL is going smaller. I think people like him is the reason. Because a guy like Sherman would never be able to cover. Even prime Sherman probably could, but I think he would still get away more times than he wouldn't. Just those big lanky fucks.
Yeah.
So Trey Brown, speaking of the NFL going smaller, was our...
He's 4'3".
He's 5'10", 185 pounds. This is the guy. He played in 14 games with 1 start as a true freshman, 2 pass breakups, 12 tackles, so nothing crazy. He then, the next year, 12 pass breakups, 58 tackles, 6 were lost, 2 sacks in fucking 13 games with 8 starts. That's crazy. Second team all Big 12 kick returner. You see what we're doing here? No more Tyler Lockett back there returning fucking kicks. He's getting older. He broke his leg. He's just not as good. So we need quick little fuckers. All 14 games as a junior, 40 tackles, 1 interception, 11 breakups. Voted him second team all conference after he intercepted 3 passes, led the team with 6 pass breakups, and recorded 31 tackles and 10 starts. He got invited to the Senior Bowl and was fucking everywhere. I think he had like the lowest. I don't want to get this stat wrong. I don't think he let anything on him at the Senior Bowl. I don't think a single pass happened. But that could be wrong. You can fact check me on that. Don't fact check me on this because it's 100% correct. And all of the draft, PFF rated him with the lowest passer rating allowed out of any corner. That's crazy awesome. Mm-hmm. And this is going to sound stupid for NFL, but in college, this is crazy. He has never allowed anything over 70 yards. In college, that's nuts. Mm-hmm. In NFL, it's like, oh, that's okay, I guess. That's fucking crazy in college. Everyone said if he was 2 inches taller, he'd be a first rounder. But he's 5'10". But he's going to be awesome on special teams, and I think he has a chance to make the teams the starting quarter. He's gonna be awesome. And he's one of those guys that Pete Carroll loves. That like, he's really handsy. Like he's so handsy that he'll get too aggressive and get penalties, which that's coachable. But he's all about. He's super sticky. He like can follow every route. Crazy breakups. Like it's just nuts for how small he is, how tall he can get, and he has good ball skills, which we desperately need. Griffin never had ball skills. He was good at covering, but he never had ball skills. I think DJ Reed, who is also short, so Seattle's totally switching their offense or their defense, which makes sense because the Rams, quick passing short fuckers. The 49ers, quick passing short fuckers. The Cardinals are led by a short fucker, throwing to old fuckers and short fuckers, right?
This sounds like a really disgusting formula.
And then, okay, so I'm excited. I'm excited about those two picks. Crazy, because I think they're immediate starters. Trey Brown might be a little bit farther out, but he's a huge contributor on special teams and kick returns. But maybe a starter on defense. This motherfucker. We had 2 picks in the 6th and 7th. We traded up into the 6th to get Stone Forsythe. This motherfucker's name is Stone. He was projected to go into the 3rd or 4th round. The reason that he fell is because his run blocking is not good.
So he wasn't a stone.
He's a stone in pass blocking. This guy is 6'8", 307 pounds. He's huge. He's built like the perfect left tackle. He just needs to. So his big knock is he's bad at run blocking. He'll get past his first guy, but as soon as he gets into the second level, like to get a linebacker or a safety, he's like, he doesn't really know what to do, so he'll fuck up.
He used all of his energy.
Maybe. And he's so fucking big, sometimes he can get a little off balance. But in run and pass blocking, which again is showing a philosophy change with Pete Carroll, when in the last, even you would know this, like he has always favored running over passing.
Well, not always.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yeah, but he's always favored the guys that can provide good running. Boo. And now he's getting a new offensive coordinator that's crazy about passing, getting Russell Wilson weapons. There's a philosophy change happening, and he fucking drafted a guy that sucks at run blocking. He's going to learn under Dwayne Brown, which is he's probably not a Hall of Fame level left tackle, but he's an incredibly good left tackle. I think in a year, he could be our starting left tackle as a 6th round pick, which is awesome.
Yeah, Brock could use that.
Yeah. So we had only 3 picks, but I think all 3 picks fucking nailed it. Again, maybe you could argue value. I don't want to hear it. We fucking needed all of them.
Can we talk about value?
If you want to, but I don't want to hear it.
No, I'm joking.
So the undrafted free agents. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the 13 with notes because, again, my phone died. But Connor Weddington, I believe, is the guy from Renton who's on the team right now who could make it, but probably won't. Or Cade Johnson. I get them confused. They're two little wide receivers. I don't know what's going to happen. But, so undrafted. The guy I'm most excited about, I've heard his name pronounced different ways. It's spelled Tamorion Terry, but everyone keeps saying Tamarion or Tamarion. So I'm going to say Tamarion Terry. I'm going to say Scary Terry.
Oh, there you go.
So this dude is 6'3", runs a 4.4. He's literally DK Metcalf. I think he makes the team as an undrafted guy. I really do. Oh, yeah. I think it's going to be DK, Tyler, Eskridge, Terry, and probably like Freddie Swain. And no one else is making it as a receiver. But those receivers are so goddamn. I'm so excited. 6'3", 4.4 40. Projected as like a 1st round pick until he fucking blew out his knee. And he had kind of a shitty 2020 because of that. So let me just give you a little rundown on him. The 4-star recruit from Georgia was an honorable mention on the All-ACC pick and FSU's offensive MVP in 2018 after leading the team in receiving yards and touchdowns. 35 receptions, 744 yards 21-yard average, 8 touchdowns in 12 games with 11 starts at FSU. That team sucks. The quarterback sucks. The line sucks. And he put up this many yards. Terry turned his game up a notch as a redshirt sophomore, garnered second-team All-ACC, 60 receptions, 1,188 yards, and he led the country by averaging 58 yards on his 9 touchdown receptions. And he didn't enter the 2020 draft, but he wanted to stay and work with the Florida State receivers coach, but he can only start 4 times. And he still got 300 yards on a touchdown. But he underwent knee surgery in October. And for some reason, everyone just ignored all the good shit and just, he had a bad 2020 in a COVID year that he had 4 starts. And it just came off knee surgery. Crazy. He has a small case of the drops. So they might have seen that as well. But he also gets some of the craziest contested catches I've ever seen. Also has a very limited route tree. But that was the big knock on DK. And he's emerging as one of the league's best. So clearly there's some coaching going on there that can help. And, hey, DK is also a freak of nature. Learn what he's doing. I think he makes the team as an undrafted guy.
Okay.
I'm excited about him. There was also a guy a couple of seasons ago. His name was Jazz Ferguson. Also fit this bill. Guaranteed he makes the team. Never even saw another team after this. Never made the team.
Weren't you jazzed about him?
I was very jazzed. No one else was.
He went to Utah.
Last couple of drafts, he should have. A couple drafts ago, there was this guy John Ursua who's still on the team. Never seen. He's seen the field once. Had 1 catch. Should have scored a touchdown, but we lost because of him. So people get excited about him and they don't make the team. That could definitely happen here, but he is just so damn good. And just because of a knee thing, which he now has fixed, I don't know. I don't see how he does it. So we got Jared Hocker, an offensive lineman. He was projected in the 5th round. We got him. He's an above-average right guard. He gets a little lost in pass pro, but he's good at run blocking. So there's the be careful back. Mm-hmm. He's bad use of his hands, so he gets people can just kind of, you know what I mean. So that's all coachable shit, though. I think he makes the team as a backup. Pierre Olivier Lestage, Canadian motherfucker.
I was gonna say he plays the Canucks.
Do you actually know him?
No, I just.
Oh, the Canucks. Yeah, I was like,
most hockey name ever.
Yeah, no, he's very, very Canadian. So this dude might make the team because Pete Carroll loves him for some reason. Is moderately a sack of shit. He's a guy. The whistle doesn't happen. When you're on your ass is when the play is over. So he's angry. He looks like a guy you don't want to fuck with. And on the film, I don't say film, on YouTube, every play he is hurting people into the ground. Maybe it's coachable, maybe he's just a dick, but he actually might make the team because of Pete Carroll. I don't think he does. So I might make the team. So Brian Mills, corner, and I only have 2 more after this. Projected in the 4th or 5th round. Again, there's so much value in these undrafted guys. The Terry one is crazy. If he doesn't get hurt, he's a first rounder. Or if he just enters the 2020 draft, he's a first rounder. And I don't know. So, Mills started the Final 10 contest for NCCU, North Carolina Central, leading the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference with 5 interceptions. He garnered first-team all-conference accolades, 22 tackles, half a sack, 8 pass breakups.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why I said it that way.
It's okay.
And North Central didn't play in 2020. So he's 6'1" with 32-inch arms. That's the most stereotypical motherfucker in Seattle ever. So he looks promising. He hasn't played many people. So that's kind of the big thing there. He gets spun around a lot, gets lost in routes. But when he presses, he can hang. So maybe it's coachable. I think there's too many corners on the team. I don't think he makes it. So last 2 guys that I have for sure are running backs. They'll probably both make the team because fucking Pete Carroll. And there's a couple other guys. BJ Emmons, I think, makes the team. He's a hard runner, runs a 4.58 40. He's like a small little fucker, like Nick Chubb or something. He's gonna be great at like 3rd and 1. Love him. He didn't play a lot. I don't know how many games he's played specifically, but he's really fast, but he's really strong when he gets low. So I think he could be like a 3rd down guy. Josh Johnson won't make the team. Bad arms, like small hands, shitty arms, shitty in pass pro, fine runner, won't make the team. Cade Johnson, receiver, 5'11", 185, probably won't make the team. Connor Weddington, I think it's the Renton guy. I want him to make the team, won't make the team. John Radigan, linebacker out of Army, might make the team. These guys I don't have notes on, so I have to go off memory here. Army, especially linebackers, are people that are super disciplined, and they're really good at that thing that they do. So I could see him being coming in ready and disciplined, and to be able to learn from people like Bobby Wagner is not too bad. So I think he could totally make the team. He seems about up to par with Cody Barton, Ben Burkervin, these people who just aren't very good, but he'll be there. Got a couple of linemen who I have no idea who they are. Jack Curran, Greg Island, and then Jared Hewitt is a defensive tackle. I don't know. Those guys probably won't make the team either. So that's what we got. Our draft, I will give a B. Our undrafted, A. Incredible. I can't believe Terry was there. That's the one I'm like craziest about. And Mills I'm kind of excited about, but I don't know if he makes it. There's just so much competition. But I could see like Pierre Desir. He's back. He's like a veteran guy. He could go. Sherman's still out there. He could come back. I don't know. So I think Terry makes the team for sure. I think one of those running backs makes it. And then I think one of the linemen makes it. Maybe the Canadian guy. So, but you should look up this Canadian dude. Every single thing on YouTube is him just fucking pancaking everything. Way past the whistle.
Oh, Jesus.
Pete Carroll loves false starts and shit too, so he'll be all about this guy. He's already come out and said he loves him.
Did he say I love him?
Like sexually.
Oh. And yeah, he's definitely keeping him around.
They fit together. Pete Carroll's scrawny old ass. So that's Seahawks draft and undrafted. I loved it. Okay. I'm super excited about Eskridge. Trey Brown's kind of like, I think, the one that like could be the miss in the draft, but he's so feisty. I like him. He got the chip. Seattle, when they were really, really, I think they're obviously really good now, but then when they were really, really good, all of them had this like fuck you mentality. Chip on the shoulder. Doug Baldwin undrafted. Jermaine Kearse undrafted. Sherman late round pick. Russell Wilson late round pick. They had the fuck you, and I loved it. Brandon Browner's literally a fucking murderer. Like, just the Chancellor was a 3rd round. Earl Thomas was the 1st round. Bobby Wagner was the 2nd. But these D-line were made up of fucking nobodies and veterans. Like, we're getting back to the fuck you, and I like it. The chips on the shoulders.
I like a lot of innuendos you've been putting out this episode.
That's been a lot. So I'm very excited about our draft. That's it. That's that. I know I'm coming off as that, but
no, not really.
No, okay.
Amp it up. So we had a couple other things to talk about. I don't know if you noticed the time. It started getting kind of late. Should we pizza and then come back to this?
That's interesting. No.
No?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't think I'll want to come back.
All right. We might risk missing it. We can try.
We'll find another pizza place.
Okay.
We can just power through whatever we're going to talk about.
All right.
Is it the schedule?
Yeah.
Okay. We can power through that.
Okay. I will say 2 more things. The Broncos, Jawan James, which sounds like a LeBron James knockoff.
Which is so sad.
It is. I don't know why people are criticizing the Broncos. It sucks ass for him. I feel bad. But I don't know what the hell people think the Broncos.
You should pay him. He was doing what he should do for his job.
Yeah, but you
gave him a contract that guaranteed that. If it didn't guarantee it, then you're fine.
Well, yeah, if he did it on site, you're the one that was talking about business and.
Well, no. If you sign a contract that guarantees, and you're supposed to stay in shape in the off season, and you get hurt staying in shape in the off season, you signed the contract that said we're going to pay you to stay in shape.
Yeah, but that's why they can get the out of the contract because you have to do it on site for the contract to.
Is that in the contract?
Yeah, that's why they can void it.
I think it'd be shitty to void it.
I mean, it sucks, but like I said, you're the one talking about business. Even if you're abandoning 8,000 fans, that it's all about business and making money.
It is.
So yeah, they're not.
It doesn't mean it's not shitty.
Yeah, that's why I said it sucks for him. But I don't know if this was the Patriots or some other team. I think they're just smart.
No, they would be getting shit on too.
I don't think so.
They definitely would. Just because it's so much money. Isn't it like $20 million?
$15 million, and he also opted out of last year, which I know you could say that. So, I mean, if it was that dire, I know it.
I definitely think the Broncos will settle something, but if they don't do it, they're right, and if they do it, they're right. I don't think there's a wrong. I think wrong. Yeah, I mean, you cut him already, so now it's just a matter of are you going to pay him or not. By the book, you don't have to, and that's right. It just looks bad, but who cares? But if you pay him, hey, you're the good guys. But you're out some money. So I get it. I get the thing. I just think it would look better to give him the money. At least some of it.
And as far as a team, it sucks because he only played 3 games his entire career with the Broncos. The first year he played 3 years. He opted out last year, and now he's hurt. And this is what I said. I forgot. We talked about it a couple podcasts ago, I think, when I was talking about how bad the offensive line is. I forgot that he would be coming back at the time, we thought at least. And now he's out for the season. They signed 3 offensive linemen. I don't know if you saw already. So,
nice.
Yeah, I don't know much about him, but
he tore his Achilles. I don't know if we said that. What he did.
No, I didn't.
He tore his fucking Achilles.
Yeah. And then I don't know if you saw Deshaun Hamilton tore his ACL a couple days ago. He's I think he had a lot of potential, kind of good, talking about a small receiver that can do a lot of different stuff. There was rumors that they were trying to trade him anyway, so. But obviously I feel like somebody would have taken something for him if he got a late-round pick or something, so now that's screwed either way.
Yeah, it sucks. That's the business part that actually does suck ass. That's what happened to Jaron Reed.
Yeah.
We want to trade him. Yeah, nope. He didn't get hurt, obviously, but he just kind of tweeted that he was done, which sucks. We didn't talk about DK Metcalf went to the Olympic tryouts.
I saw that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Dude, with the fucking best athletes in the world who do this for a living, he held his own. If it was a 60-yard dash, he might be in like top 5. But he's just too fucking big to go for 100.
Yeah.
But what did he get? A 10.37. To try again to qualify is a 10.35. He finished last, but it was like he was literally tied.
Yeah.
And people were showing a lot of respect for it, which is really cool because DK Metcalf is a huge star at this point. And he's bringing light to a sport that's not very talked about. And he did it because he wants to test his shit against the world's best. And it was like a total compliment to sprinters. And everyone took it as like this cocky asshole. Well, not everyone. A minority of people, a loud minority. Oh, this fucking asshole thinks he can hang with. No, he literally came out. I want to fucking just test against these fucking world-class athletes. I'm blessed to even have this ability to run like this. I just want to do it. And he fucking held his own. And it was awesome. I watched it live.
Did you?
I did. I downloaded Peacock just to watch it live. And it was he was fucking huge compared to these motherfuckers. It was literally less than 11 seconds long, and I watched it for like 2 hours for him to come on. God, it was awesome. I was afraid he was going to get hurt. That's why it made me reminded of it.
Yeah.
They pull a hammy or something. But I loved it. Pete Carroll loved it. Bobby Wagner was there watching him. It was awesome. I love it. And he's fucking fast. That should be like scary to other teams.
Yeah.
That's fast. All right, that's it.
The only thing we're going to talk about is, like you said, the NFL schedule came out. We're not going to go over the whole schedule, but our teams.
Yep.
And instead of doing that weekly game show like we normally do, we talked about just picking the schedule or going through our schedule and saying what we think would be wins and losses.
Yep.
You
can just power through it real quick.
You want to start?
Sure. I think the Seahawks, it might change while I'm doing this, but I think they go 12-5.
Okay.
I have the schedule. I literally did this for this reason.
Oh, look at that.
I think they go 12-5 with a wild card berth. They win the wild card, and then they have to go on the road somewhere for the divisional. I think they lose again in the divisional. That's my guess. I think this team could also go 14-3. I think their low is 12-5. Their high is 14. I think this team could win the Super Bowl. I really do. Because they got better from last year, and they were 12-4. So, week 1 against the Colts on the road. We only have 2 10 a.m. games for Seattle, which is huge. They're really good at those games anyway, but still, that traveling sucks.
Yeah.
We have a pretty favorable schedule. It's really hard at the beginning. It kind of eases up, and there's a lot of home games at the end. So, Colts on the road. I think I'm going to go to this game, by the way.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I think so.
The house that Peyton Manning built.
Yep. I think that's a win against the Colts. Carson Wentz, first game. I don't think it's going to be solidified yet. I think that's a win. Home opener versus the Titans with fans in the stadiums for the first time. You don't lose that game. You just don't in Seattle. That's a win. On the road to the Vikings are 0-7 against us since like 2012. I think that's a W. On the road against the Niners, I think this is our first loss. I think it could be a win, but these road games, divisional opponents, are tough, so I think we lose that one. Thursday night football against the Rams at home, I think it's a win. I think we split with the Rams and Niners, by the way, and we wiped the Cardinals. So we get 3 primetime games. Thursday night, Rams, win. Sunday night at Pittsburgh, loss. I think I want to go to that game, but tickets are already $400.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be especially prime time.
Sunday night football would be awesome. So I think we lose that game. I think we could win that game though, but I'm trying to be realistic here. So loss. So 2 losses so far. So we're 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2. Monday night football against the Saints, and again, a reason I think we win that Sunday night game. We're incredible in primetime, always are. Anything can happen. But Monday night against the Saints, who's the quarterback? Doesn't matter. Win. Jacksonville. This game is going to be fun. Shaquille Griffin revenge game. Carlos Hyde, Brian Schottenheimer, Darrell Bevell, Trevor Lawrence. Seattle wins. I think it'll be close as shit. And then we have a fucking mid-season bye. It's perfect. So we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 2 at the bye. That seems pretty realistic. At the Packers. I'm not even going to fuck around with this one. Loss, unless Aaron Rodgers isn't there. So 6 and 3 versus Cardinals at home. Win. God damn it. Win. I'm not going to go on about it a lot. Monday Night Football at Washington. I'm going to put this as an L. I don't think it's an L, but I'm going to put it as an L. So 2 primetime losses? I don't think so, but we'll see. Sunday Night Football at our house against the Niners. Fucking victory. 2 touchdown victory. Minimum. On the road to Houston. Who the fuck plays for Houston anymore? Deshaun Watson probably won't even play for Houston, right? He's probably going to get suspended. There's too many cases, right? So that's 1 loss, 2 losses, 3 losses, 4 losses. So we beat the Texans. We beat the Rams on the road. Chicago comes. I think that's going to be fun because Justin Fields is going to be playing at that point. Lions at home, and then the Cardinals away to finish the season. So maybe we just split with everybody in the division because I have to give us 1 more loss. But I honestly think we win the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. 6 games. After losing to Monday Night Football in Washington, I think we win out. And that would give us 13 and 4. And I think that would be enough to win the division and in talks for that number 1 seed. And I legitimately don't think that's that unrealistic. Okay, you slip up to a team, you lose to the Jaguars. You're 12 and 5. You're still in contention for that division, not the number 1 seed anymore. Mm-hmm. You don't lose to Washington. You're 15 and 2. It's not that crazy. It is, but it isn't.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers isn't starting. You win that game in Green Bay. Seattle always drops a game they shouldn't. So maybe that Bears game or something weird happens. But that's at home. I doubt that. They'll drop 1 they shouldn't. And that's where I think the 12 and 5 comes in. But I think they should be 13 and 4. But they will be 12 and 5.
Okay.
How's that feel? That doesn't feel like crazy, right? Reading those teams. And how favorable is that schedule? We get to finish off 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, we have more away games than we do at home. But 2 of the last 3 are at home. So we get a good late push for the playoffs. And I think we're going to make a little bit of noise in the playoffs this time.
Okay.
Health,
Yeah.
because we were fucked by injury last year too. The top 5 teams.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Not unrealistic, I don't think.
Okay.
You're not giving me any feedback. What do you think? Crazy?
No, I don't think so. That's why I'm not saying much.
Okay.
'Cause I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little less than that, but I wouldn't be shocked at all if it is that, so or more.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think they got worse from last year.
Yeah.
I could see coaching change, them starting slower, but them getting hot late. I'm totally cool with that. So, go ahead.
Okay, so before I start mine, I know it's the same as yours, but I really want to preface it because the Broncos could change drastically more than most teams.
This is obviously way too early of a prediction. We don't even know who's on the team yet.
Yeah. So
Totally.
This is what we're going off of now, and obviously I'm a Broncos fan, but I try to be realistic. It's going to sound like I'm being a homer.
Yeah, I
But-
really tried.
Yeah. But like I said, I do think the Broncos are going to be better than people think, even if Aaron Rodgers doesn't come. The biggest question mark is still the offensive line, which could. That's why if they haven't improved and they're playing the same, it could be a lot worse than what I predicted. But I'm going with the assumption that I think it's going to be improved and they'll have a shot.
Okay.
And they get the benefit of having more home games, so the opposite of the Seahawks.
Oh,
And Denver is one of the
damn.
hardest places to play in the league. So I think that'll help. And it seems like it's trending towards stadiums having people in it. Well, it is going to have people in it, trending towards maybe full.
Yeah, that's what
So-
we are. I think we are doing it now.
Yeah.
We have the 11th easiest schedule, so we're in the top half. None of our teams are above 500. Or wait, the total win percentage total is 500.
It's funny
which
you
is
say that.
pretty
I was
awesome.
going to say that it might sound like being a homer, but the Broncos have the 4th easiest schedule in the league. So that's part of why, if I'm getting a lot of wins. But that's another thing that sounds good on paper, but if you look at it, the easiest schedule is a lot of times at the beginning of the season. By the end of the season,
It's
are
crazy.
not.
Yeah. That's
so
why I
this
kind of
could-
like we're in the middle.
Yeah, so this sounds like a really easy schedule, but then some of these teams could fucking catch on fire and be the opposite of what they were last year, and that's all it's based off of is last year. So they start the season on the road 2 times, which doesn't help.
That's what we
But,
had to do last year.
Yeah. So
Fucking
they
sucks.
start in New York playing the Giants.
W.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think that could go either way, but I think that they'll win that one. And then the next one on the road again to Jacksonville. It should be a win, but I think that one's going to be a loss. I think it'd be hard to win 2 road games to start the season.
Okay.
And Jacksonville, I don't think they're going to be good, but they have that potential and so many young players. I don't think there'll be much film on players. And not, I mean, you know, have college film, but it's way different.
I think that game is gonna. Yeah, I think that'll be a win. I don't think the Trevor Lawrence show starts to like week 10 when he's finally sit in. But by that time, he's gonna get hurt, and Tim Tebow's gonna be the quarterback.
We didn't even talk about Tim Tebow.
We don't need to. He won't make the team.
What we're going to talk about for a second, since you said we don't need to. Because I think he's going to make the team.
Because Urban Meyer has a fucking hard on for him.
I was going to say, Urban Meyer fucking, if anybody, for one, yeah, it's going to be kind of like I'm talking about the schedule. It is going to be biased with him because he loves him. Nobody else would have signed Tim Tebow. But I also, as a Broncos fan, I can admit I think Tim Tebow got the short shaft. I thought he played decent for the limited amount of time he had. He knocked the Steelers out of playoffs when a lot of people thought they would go to the Super Bowl. And then
But he's going as a tight end. He's a freak of nature athlete, so he'll do well.
that's what I was going to say. I think he's going to be listed tight end. The reason I think he's going to make it and not blow the league up or anything, but I think have a okay chance, is I think he's going to use him the same way he did in Florida, where he kind of just moves around, does whatever.
Taysom Hill.
Yeah, so I think it'll be like that, and I think
I
it'll
could
be
see
okay.
that happening, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to be a fucking top 5 tight end. I think he's just going to be a decent player that is kind of accounted on different plays. And he seems like the fucking goodest guy you can ask for.
Yeah.
So I think, like I said, even as a Bronx fan, I think he got the short shaft, so it'd be nice to see him
I
succeed.
literally wouldn't be surprised either way if he literally just doesn't make the team or if he is Taysom Hill. Used less.
Yeah, I'd be surprised just because Urban Meyer otherwise. If there's any other team, yeah, I'm not saying. But that's the only
Urban
reason
loves him some Tebow.
Yeah, so that's why I'd be surprised in that end. But yeah, I think if there's any other team, I wouldn't be surprised it goes either way.
Okay.
And then, so we're at 1-1 right now.
Yep.
And then we play the Jets at home.
That's
so
a
I think
W
that's a
all
win.
day.
Yeah. And then we get another home game, but it's against the Ravens. I think the Ravens take that. Unfortunately, I hate them.
Yeah.
But
2-2.
yep. And then they play the Steelers in Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh will probably win that. Pittsburgh's a hard place to play like Denver. I think it's definitely depending on if Ben Roethlisberger can get back to how he's playing. If he's not, then it might be real bad for Pittsburgh no matter who they're
If
playing.
Pittsburgh looks like they did at the end of the season, I also will switch mine to a win. For sure.
They play the Raiders at home, as in our home, I guess I should say.
Okay.
I think they win that one.
Okay.
Then they go to Cleveland for their only primetime game against fucking Cleveland is their primetime game Thursday night. I think they beat Cleveland. I know people are high on Cleveland, but even when Cleveland's been good, the Broncos have their number. Historically, the Browns almost never beat the Broncos.
Okay.
Even when they've been better than the Broncos. Me and Cody are going to try and go to that game. I
Nice.
don't think it's going to go well in a primetime game. I mean, for me,
It's going to be expensive. Probably not. It's going to be shitty there.
I saw that right now tickets are $90. So
man, Browns fans still don't care. That's crazy.
Yeah, I told him it's kind of a gamble. We either wait it out, and if I am right and the Browns start dropping, those tickets are going to fucking dive bomb.
Or if they do good.
Yeah, and they're going to skyrocket, and they're going to have all the people that even care about the Browns on top of the people that care.
Yeah.
And then they have Washington at home. I think they win that one.
That's going to be tough.
You think Washington's going to be that good?
Mm-hmm. Their defense was the best defense last year. It was like quietly a really good team. And they were the only team that almost knocked out Brady.
Yeah, I wasn't saying that like I think it's a cakewalk like the Jets or something. I think that's one they could win. I'm not like.
Yeah. No, I had that as a loss for sure against us, even in primetime. I think they should win it, but I think they will lose it.
Yeah.
So I think Washington's, and they got Heineke was fine. And what week is this?
This would be. Oh, it doesn't have.
It's like the 7th week or something, 8th.
6, 7, 8. Yeah.
So Fitzmagic is still going to be magical because he hasn't been benched yet. He's going to be close, but he's still going to be pulling some shit off. So I think that team's going to be tough. And actually, that makes me think that Washington's going to lose to us because Fitzmagic will be benched at that point for Heineke.
And then they go on the road to Dallas. I think they can beat the Cowboys.
Yeah, Cowboys are going to suck again.
And then back at home, they kind of just took the entire division here almost. They play the Eagles at home. I think they'll beat the Eagles.
They should.
Then they have a bye week, so rested to go against the Chargers at home, which I think they'll win that one.
Okay.
And then we probably
Chargers going to win that one.
Probably catch a theme here of why. Might sound like I'm just hating on division rivals, but you'll see what I'm doing here. And then they play the Chiefs in Kansas City, which is probably the hardest place to play in Denver. So I think they'll lose that one. They play the Lions at home. I think they'll win that. The Lions going to be tougher, though, I think. I know people said the opposite with Matthew Stafford. I just think they got so much, and I think they might actually be better without him now, which is crazy. But
no way. They got rid of too much.
I think they might. And
they got rid of too much. And what they signed? Sewell? That's it? That's their big draft pick?
That was a big draft, yeah.
They didn't have a very, I don't know. They had a bad offseason. And they got worse at quarterback. So I think that's a win.
Then they play another home game against the Bengals. I think they'll win that, and even more than the Browns. They have the Bengals number. The Bengals almost never beat them.
I think the Bengals are going to be pretty good this year.
I think it's all depending on if Joe Burrow can get back to how he's playing. If he does, I think they can actually surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm not worried about him. I'm still worried about that line.
Yeah, that's what I mean from that happening.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it is him as well, not because it's see if he's not good or not, but that kind of injury and doing that, they talk about how that can like
he won't be as mobile, yeah.
Yeah, and that can like I think he's happened with Trevor Siemian. I think he could have actually been a really good quarterback in the NFL, but he's behind a terrible offensive line that he just fucking every time he touched the ball, he panicked because he was so used to having no line that it got inside of his head. And then that was way more dramatic than Trevor Siemian's with the injury he had.
Yeah.
And then on the road to Las Vegas for the Raiders, I think they lose that. This will be the first time that Raiders fans, not the first game, but the first season, they have fans for Las Vegas games. It's going to be fucking weird and still should be Oakland. And then they go.
How many losses are you at right now? 5?
That
would be 5?
I think so.
Okay.
Just seeing if you're counting right. And then on the road to, I almost said San Diego, Los Angeles. They finished the year out with all division games. But on the road to Los Angeles, except for the Chargers, I should specify, I think they lose that one.
Okay.
And then finished with Kansas City. I think they win that one. So I think they can split their division games while I did that. I think more than likely you'll lose on the road than home, especially Kansas City.
Think you beat the Chiefs?
I think so.
Because they'll have the number 1 seed locked up.
That might not hurt, but if you watch last year, the Broncos stuck with the Chiefs both games. They ended up being blow up, but they stuck with them for a good portion of the game.
Yeah.
I think the Broncos.
The Chiefs just got better. That's my scare. They
Yeah.
got a better line. I don't know. The Chiefs scare me again.
I don't think they're going to drop off or anything. I just
Yeah.
think it's hard to keep that strong and consistent all the time. So I think a little bit of a drop off. And with the Broncos, like I said, should be improving and sticking with them both last year's games when the Broncos were really bad and the Chiefs were really good.
Okay.
I think it's possible.
So 11-6?
Yeah, 11-6.
Okay. That seems
Which
crazy. It seems high.
Oh, I know it does, but
I like it, though.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Well, I can change, but that's what I'm going off of now.
Sure.
And as the
So
weird thing is,
Okay. Go ahead.
it's easy to look at the schedule and say it, but
Yeah.
then once these games actually come up, you're like, oh, the Jets are fucking terrible. They'll destroy the Jets, or the Ravens are fucking dominating. There's no way they're going to beat the Ravens, or it changes so much once the games actually start pouring in, which is why we should do weekly picks on here. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Definitely. So Broncos are going 11-6. Where are the Browns going?
I'd have to look at their schedule, but
Less than that.
yeah, I think they get 9 wins.
Okay. Still another decent season for them.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if it's less than that and they just totally fall apart, but I'll say realistically, I think 9.
Would you be shocked if they got more?
I'd be surprised if they got more than 9. If they got much higher than that, I'd be shocked. Anything more than 11, I'd be shocked. Even more than 9, I'd be surprised. But anything 11 or more, I'd be shocked.
Okay. I think they win the division, but I think they're going to ride for a couple years, unfortunately. As much as I hate to admit it. I think they'll die off quick, though. But I think they ride for a couple years.
All right.
I hope not.
Oh, no, I know.
I'd be fine with like the Bengals coming up for once.
I would, too.
Just like a year.
Yeah.
Just like do okay.
No, definitely, especially because I actually kind of like the Bengals. They're so hard to root for, but now they only really have one player that I hate. So
Yeah.
I like Joe Burrow, so
Just feel
I'll
bad
totally
for
be
Burrow.
okay with that.
There you have it. You already know what's going to happen. So they're making the playoffs.
Yep.
11-6 wild
you
card.
should with that record, yeah.
Seattle's winning the division in the talks for the 1 seed. There you have it. You don't have to watch the NFL.
17-game season.
Super weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had to make sure every time I was about to say the record that I had it right.
That's why I was double-checking things.
Well, there you have it.
Has that been an episode?
That's been an episode. Now we're going to get pizza.
That's right. All right, well, should we, yeah, you got it.
Quack, 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 quack,
Go
Go
Broncos.
Hawks.